Chapter 254. Xianxia, I'm Huilan. I know you are getting engaged tomorrow, but... Hearing this, Mu Qiqi retracted her hand from the doorknob. She stopped moving. Because she knew what kind of situation she was in. I'm not satisfied. I want to ask you personally. Can you not get engaged tomorrow? Hey, tell me what's on your mind. Xing Minghui was a little anxious. She urged her friend. You must have a reason to stop Xianxia from getting engaged, right? I've been paying attention to you for a long time. Our family background is similar. Moreover, I'm good friends with your seventh sister. I don't want to miss you. So, I shamelessly came to your room at night. I want to ask you, if I tell you that I like you too, will you consider not getting engaged to that little girl? There was no response in the room. To be exact, Mu Qiqi had taken out her phone and recorded the conversation. Can you open the door for me? Xianxia, it's disrespectful of you to do this. At that moment, fourth sister came to Xianxiao's room. She frowned when she saw seventh sister and her friend there. What are you doing here? I'm looking for Xianxia. Haven't you given up yet? Fourth sister was a sharp-eyed person. She knew what seventh sister was trying to do. Do you know who is in the room? Who? It's not Xianxia. Fourth sister replied. I didn't expect you to do such a thing. They are getting engaged tomorrow. Are you trying to snatch the bride? Xing Minghui's face darkened. She looked at her best friend. Both of their faces were red because they did not expect such an outcome. Fourth sister, I just want Xianxia to have more choices. After all, that little girl from the Xin family is not good enough for Xianxia. Fourth sister did not want Mu Qiqi to be sad. So she called Xianxia. Where are you? Something happened outside your room. Come back for a while. Sister, since you said you want Xianxia to have more choices, I'll help you inform him. After hanging up, Xianxia left Papa Xing and went back to his room. But he saw 3 people at the door. So, Xianxia, you should deal with this yourself. Fourth sister looked at Xing Minghui and her friends seriously. It's so late and seventh sister is going to start singing? It would have been better if Xianxia had not opened his mouth, but when he did, it was a terrifying tone. Then let's go to the Xing family's hall to sing. Lao Ba, don't embarrass our guest. Huilan is your guest tomorrow. Is that so? A guest should be where a guest should be. I don't think she should appear in front of my room. Xianxia made a welcoming gesture. Xing Minghui was left speechless and could only lead her friend ahead. Meanwhile, Xianxia gestured to fourth sister to comfort the little one in the room. Fourth sister nodded and made an okay gesture. When they arrived at the living room, everyone from the Xing family was invited, including Papa Xing, Mama Xing, Grandpa Xing, third uncle and fourth uncle. Of course, seventh sister was fourth uncle's child. Xianxia, what are you doing at this time of the night? I don't want to. But third uncle, I really want to know how fourth uncle teaches his daughter. Xianxia sat on the sofa, not afraid of anyone at all. Grandpa Xing was prepared that Xianxia would make a scene. He loved and hated this grandson at the same time. Xianxia, what do you mean? Fourth uncle stared at him and asked. I want to know what seventh sister is thinking. Why did she bring your best friend to my room the night before my engagement? Why, did she bring me a woman? Xianxia looked at Xing Minghui and asked. You are the eldest daughter of the Xing family and you are my elder sister. Is it appropriate for you to do this? Xianxia, I mean well. Moreover, Huilan likes you. I just want to give you another choice. Not to mention Xianxia, even Mama Xing was angry when she heard what Xianxia said. So I am not Xingxiao's mother. You are, aren't you? You even know to prepare another wife for my son. Eldest aunt, that's not what I mean. Since that's not what you mean, you should know shame as a young lady of the Xing family. You brought an unmarried child to the Xing family. Moreover, she is in front of Xianxiao's room. Do you know how much it will affect him? Who do you want to ruin? Do you need to decide what kind of woman Xianxia likes? Xing Minghui blushed. She did not know what to do. Because Mama Xing had never been so angry at the Xing family. That little girl is not good enough for Xianxia. It has nothing to do with you whether she is good enough for him or not. Grandpa Xing was furious when he saw his family quarreling. Enough. Although seventh sister has crossed the line, she means well. Moreover, there are guests here. Don't embarrass them. Grandpa, I just want to, don't think about anything. Qiqi is in Xianxiao's room. He saw what you did just now. Mama Xing was trembling with anger. She told Xing Minghui directly. Let the Xin family see how seventh sister looks like. Let them see how different she is from the pimps outside. Xiaoqin, you've crossed the line. Grandpa Xing scolded Mama Xing. You want your friend to get engaged to me, don't you? Xing Xiao, who had been silent for a while, suddenly spoke. No one knew what he meant, but they could feel that his evil nature was acting up again. Fine. Get engaged to me. Then I will tie her up and throw her into the Atlantic Ocean. You know that I like to watch sharks hunting for food. Or I should say that there is a new amusement park in America. The roller coasters there do not require seat belts. I have been wanting to let someone try it for a long time. Since Miss Huilan likes me so much, why don't you help me try it? Or perhaps Miss Huilan likes the sun? I like to see people being hung on a mountain. Enough. Xing Xiao, is this how you treat a toy? Xing Minghui was angry. She likes you. It's not wrong. Since she is willing to be with me, what's wrong with suffering a little? I like to treat women like this. What's wrong with me? Didn't you want to ask me if I have another choice? What? Are you not satisfied with my answer? Xing Xiao looked at Xing Minghui coldly. I have been like this since I was young. Is this the first time you see it? Xing Minghui's mouth was trembling. He could not say a word. As for her friend, she was so scared that her face turned green. Babe, I think I'll go home first. Huilan couldn't stand Xing Xiao's piercing gaze anymore. It made her shudder. Chapter 255. Xing Minghui questioned Xing Xiao when she saw him losing his composure. Even if you don't like her, you don't have to scare her like that. I'm serious about every word I said. Xing Xiao looked straight into Xing Minghui's eyes. Let's talk about seventh sister now. Fourth uncle, shouldn't you give me an explanation? Why did your daughter bring another woman to my room the night before my engagement? Xing Xiao, your seventh sister just wanted to do something for you. You don't have to be so aggressive. Fourth uncle told Xing Xiao calmly. It's your daughter's fault now. Don't turn your attention to me. If I let this matter go, I'll be even more lawless in the future. I don't know if I'll give seventh sister a black man or something when I'm in a good mood. Then I'll let seventh sister show off her international pedigree. Xing Xiao's eyes were filled with a rebellious light. He was fearless. Fourth uncle was shocked when he heard that. But he couldn't find any words to refute Xing Xiao. Because Xing Xiao was telling the truth. If Grandpa Xing didn't punish Xing Minghui today, it would be a precedent for Xing Xiao. He would be even more unscrupulous. Grandpa, look at what Xing Xiao said. Xing Minghui was shocked too. Because it was definitely something Xing Xiao would do. Grandpa Xing took a deep breath. Then he looked at Xing Minghui. Apologize to your brother. Moreover, you don't have to attend the engagement ceremony tomorrow. I'm not the one she should apologize to. Mom, please bring Muqiqi here. Xing Xiao turned to Mama Xing. Mama Xing nodded and got up from the sofa. Xing Minghui was reluctant. But when she thought about the black man Xing Xiao mentioned just now, her palms were sweating. Xing Xiao, is it worth it for you to fall out with your family just for a little girl? Old man, it's not because of Qi or that I'm doing this. It's just that I really don't like the way seventh sister does things. No matter who gets engaged to me today based on seventh sister's way of doing things, shouldn't she be hacked into pieces? Grandpa Xing was speechless. Then he got angry. I'm not feeling well. You guys can do whatever you want. Of course, Xing Xiao knew that no matter what he did today, Grandpa Xing would blame it on Muqiqi. But he didn't care. He just couldn't let the little thing suffer, whether it was now or in the future. As long as someone bullied Qi, he would deal with them first. Soon Mama Xing and fourth sister brought Muqiqi to the living room. Seeing so many elders, Muqiqi greeted them after Mama Xing introduced them to her. Of course, it was awkward to meet under such circumstances. Muqiqi could feel her father's disdain and indifference towards her. Isn't there someone who wants to apologize? Xing Xiao pulled Muqiqi to sit beside him and reminded Xing Minghui. Xing Minghui was helpless. She walked up to them and said, Sister-in-law, I didn't do it on purpose. Don't be angry at me. I promise that I will treat you like a family member from now on. It's good enough that seventh sister doesn't cause trouble. Xing Xiao looked up at her and said, I hope that fourth uncle can teach your daughter well in the future. An unmarried girl shouldn't worry about other families. Humph. Fourth uncle snorted coldly and returned to his room with Xing Minghui. The other elders also left one after another. Only Mama Xing and fourth sister stayed in front of Xing Xiao and Xing Minghui. Although we have offended some elders today, it's inevitable for Xianxia to do this. Seventh sister has gone too far. Fourth sister comforted Mu Qiqi. Xiaoqi, don't take it to heart. We have been through this for so many years. It's not because of you. Don't take it to heart. Fourth sister, I understand. Mu Qiqi comforted fourth sister. All right. Seventh sister has gone too far today. Don't think too much about it. Go back and rest early. Tomorrow is the engagement ceremony. You still have a lot of work to do. But judging from Grandpa's attitude, he is angry tonight. He might not attend the ceremony tomorrow, fourth sister guessed. It doesn't matter. He will come. Xianxia was very sure. Then he hugged Mu Qiqi and stood up. Mom, fourth sister will go back first. Go. Mama Xing nodded. When they had gone far away, she sighed and said to fourth sister, I really like Qiqi. She can endure anything for Xianxia. She is not the kind of person who values a rich family. What the Xing family thinks is great might not be what she wants. Eldest aunt, I have never seen Xianxia so angry at home. Look at him. He did not care about seventh sister's feelings at all. It's obvious that he is trying to show off his power to Qiqi. So don't worry. Fourth sister comforted Mama Xing. Moreover, Qiqi is not the kind of girl who will be controlled by others. She is talented and has her own ideas. We can't tell what will happen in the future. Mama Xing smiled. Then she pointed at fourth sister's lips and said, You are the sweet one. After that, they went back to their rooms to rest. However, on their way back, fourth sister bumped into Jing Yun again. So she stopped him. Jing Yun, take good care of your young master. Miss Minglan, you have to take care of yourself too. You have lost weight again. Fourth sister nodded. Come to my room. Give Qiqi a present. I forgot about it tonight. Jing Yun followed behind fourth sister in a daze. Then he saw her taking out a big gift box and a small one. The big one is for Qiqi. The small one is for you. I remember that you liked robots when you were young. You saw a special one in Vienna. So you bought it. Jing Yun's eyes changed instantly. He took the gift and thanked fourth sister. Thank you, Miss Minglan. But in fact, only he knew how turbulent his heart was. Fourth sister did not forget about him. Every time she went, she would bring him a gift. He kept it in his heart to warm himself. On the way back to Jingting, Mu Qiqi peeped at Xianxia more than once. Although she knew that his expression was the same as usual, she could feel that he was angry. I am fine. You are fine. But I am not. Xianxia sped up. If fourth sister did not see it, were you planning to keep it a secret? I have recorded it. I am going to open the door and let them know that Xingzhao's woman is inside. Mu Qiqi explained. Do you think that I will swallow my anger? Don't forget that I am also the one who tore Rong Junhan apart. Do you think that your seventh sister is my opponent? You really want to see it. So I am the one who made you useless? Chapter 256. Do you care? Xianxia drove the car into the parking lot of Jingting and brought Mu Qiqi home. I don't care. I still have Grandpa and Dad. Mu Qiqi said. It won't be too embarrassing. Grandpa Xing's attitude towards Mu Qiqi would determine how the Xing family would treat her. And Grandpa Xing would most likely not attend the wedding tomorrow because he had forced Xing Minghui to do it tonight. He was a vengeful person and would definitely punish him. But he was not worried. He had a way to make Grandpa Xing attend the wedding tomorrow. When they reached home, Xianxia saw that Mu Qiqi had rearranged everything in the house. She changed into the couple's pajamas and shoes. Everything was for two. Xianxia could not help but press Mu Qiqi against the wall. Are you so impatient that you want to be with me? Mu Qiqi smiled. Mu Qiqi could feel his hot hands moving over her body. She explained, It's so beautiful. I feel like I am possessed. Xianxia tore Mu Qiqi's clothes and exposed her chest. The world is so big and there are so many women. Why must I have you? Mu Qiqi unbuttoned Xingzhao's shirt and kissed his chest slowly. Because you love me. Right by the door, right on the corridor, Xingzhao kissed the little one fiercely. She would become his fiancée tomorrow. While the two of them were passionately kissing, they had unknowingly taken off their clothes. By the time they regained their senses, their bodies had already involuntarily moved closer to the bed. Everything in the house came in pairs. It made Xianxia feel a sweetness he had never felt before. So, at this moment he just wanted to love his Xiaoqi. He wanted to give her his most gentle love. So it was rare for Qiqi to feel Xiao's gentleness. And it was like a feather brushing against her body. I can't take it anymore. You can't take it anymore? Xiao lifted her chin and smiled. Then he continued what he was doing, making the little woman feel comfortable in both body and mind. Of course, Xing Minghui was embarrassed and humiliated by Xiao that night. She threw a tantrum for hours after she returned to her room. But she had nowhere to vent the grievance in her heart. More importantly, she was not allowed to attend the engagement ceremony tomorrow. Who cared? However, she couldn't let Qiqi have an easy time. So she called all her good friends and told them to help her cause trouble for Qiqi tomorrow. She didn't believe that Qiqi would be easy to deal with. To her, Xiao was too much of a scum. She had good intentions and yet she was treated like this. In front of the whole family, the young lady of the Xing family had to apologize to that silly girl. Not only that, but Huilan was also scared away. From now on, Huilan would probably never want to contact her again, right? How abominable. Whenever Xing Minghui thought about it, she would feel annoyed. Fourth sister was also fawning over that silly girl. Would something that even grandpa doesn't approve of have a good ending in the Xing family? I'll wait and see. The next day was the engagement ceremony of the crown prince of Huang Yao. Because it was too grand, the media broadcast it live from the venue to the guests. Because Xiao was so influential. Mama Xing seemed to have made up her mind. She wanted everyone to know that her son already had a fiancé. Although she could not stop her husband and Grandpa Xing from making other plans in the end, she had to do it within her power. She wanted to do it with a clear conscience for her son and Qiqi. In the wee hours of the morning, Xiao sent Qiqi back to the Shen family. The next morning he went to welcome her. Qiqi woke up early and started to dress up. Grandpa Shen's eyes turned red when he saw how beautiful his granddaughter was. I thought that it's still early. You're still too young. I can keep you for a few more years to make it up to you. But, Grandpa. Qiqi held Grandpa Shen's hand. She felt very sorry for him. After I got engaged to Xiao, I still come home to visit you and second aunt's family. I'm not lost. Don't be so sad. Xin Jianchuan came home from the hospital in the wee hours of the morning. Seeing how beautiful his daughter was, he couldn't help but say, "My dear daughter, Daddy." Qiqi bent down and hugged Xin Jianchuan gently. "I'm sorry. I haven't done my duty as a daughter. I haven't taken good care of you. Do you think that your father is old?" Xin Jianchuan couldn't do anything else. He could only comfort Qiqi. "Wait for me. I'll definitely recover. Then I'll take care of my daughter personally. All right, don't cry." Huang Yu stood at the side and persuaded them. "Xiao will come to pick you up later. If you cry and embarrass yourself at the engagement ceremony, it won't be good." Actually, there were not such strict rules at the engagement ceremony. But Xiao was considerate of Qiqi's desire to see the Shen family. So he sent Qiqi back to the Shen family in the wee hours of the morning so that she could accompany her grandfather and father. As for Suzy Pei, Qiqi didn't want her to be too excited because she was pregnant. So she did not bring her over. Soon the sky was bright. A beautiful white car had arrived at the entrance of the Shen family. Xiao was wearing a black handmade suit today. It was rare for him to be formal. It showed the maturity and responsibility of a man. When she saw Xiao, Huang Yu asked Qiqi to stand up and turn around. It was the first time Xiao saw Qiqi wearing that gown. Just like what she said, she wanted to give him a surprise. At this moment, when Xiao saw Xiaoqi putting on the gown for him, he felt indescribably proud of himself. The sense of ceremony rose in his heart. "Xiao, I'll leave Qiqi to you," Grandpa Shen said. Then he put Qiqi's hand in Xiao's. "Don't let anyone bully her. Qiqi is so beautiful. How would Xiao dare to bully her?" Huang Yu smiled. "Everyone, let's go. It's almost time." Xiao led Qiqi and walked in front. At this moment, the newlyweds were the most beautiful couple in the world. Mama Xing and fourth sister also came to welcome Qiqi. When they saw Qiqi in her gown, their eyes turned red without knowing it. "Xiaoqi is so beautiful." Xing Minglan sighed. "She's young and beautiful. From the looks of it, Xiao is really cunning." He had his eyes on his young wife at such a young age. He made her fair and plump. Then like a fox he took Xiaoqi into his fox nest. Mama Xing was touched. She smiled. Qiqi is the most beautiful bride I've ever seen. As for Xianxia. Chapter 257. Then I will allow you to look at me for a while. Mu Qiqi smiled brightly. Xianxia subconsciously held Mu Qiqi's hand tightly and led her to the white car. Then they set off for the banquet hall. Because here they were about to complete the first major event in their lives. Their engagement. Then the Xin family arrived at the hotel where the engagement ceremony was going to be held. It was on the lawn behind the hotel. Suzy Pei was supposed to go with the Xin family. But she felt a pain in her stomach before she went out. Lu Wenhua was so scared that he sent her to the hospital for a checkup. The guests arrived one after another. But Mu Qiqi was a stranger to them. She only followed the man beside her. At the same time, Xin Rui was dressing up in front of the mirror. It was Mu Qiqi's engagement ceremony. As her cousin, should she attend it? She had nowhere to vent her anger. She wanted Mu Qiqi to feel embarrassed even if she was going to die. At the engagement ceremony, Mama Xing and fourth sister returned to the hotel early to welcome the guests. However, Grandpa Xing did not show up. At that moment, both of them knew that the old urchin was purposely not attending his grandson's engagement ceremony. It was all because Xianxia had caused a scene at Xing Mansion last night. When people asked about Grandpa Xing, Mama Xing could only tell them that Grandpa Xing was not feeling well and would only come after a short rest. Xianxia was the crown prince of Huangyao. He was his favorite grandson. How could he not attend Xingzhao's engagement ceremony? A discerning person could see the crux of the matter. Perhaps the old man did not like the little bride. But when the Xin family heard about it, they would feel uncomfortable. Xiaoqin, what's wrong with Grandpa Xing? Is he not feeling well? Grandpa Xing asked Mama Xing. There are so many guests today. If Grandpa Xing does not show up, how can he meet the guests 7 days later? Grandpa Xing, Dad will be here soon. Don't worry. Mama Xing answered Grandpa Xing. Today is Xianxia and Mu Qiqi's big day. As their grandfather, of course he cannot be absent. Grandpa Xing did not look good. Of course it was because he had heard some bad rumors. So he asked about it. If he did not agree to their engagement ceremony, he should have expressed his attitude right from the beginning. But after he agreed to it, he pretended to be polite. What was going on? The two families had been friends for so many years. Were they going to fall out over such a small matter? Mama Xing was very calm because Xianxia had said that Grandpa Xing would definitely attend. She believed in her son. Don't worry, old Xin. Grandpa Xing took a deep breath and continued to greet his comrades and guests. There were many important people who came today. They all wanted to make Mu Qiqi more confident after she married into the Xing family. At that moment, it was 10 o'clock in the morning. However, Grandpa Xing was nowhere to be seen at the venue. The guests at the banquet called Xing Minghui and told her about it. Xing Minghui was quite proud of herself. Although Grandpa loves Xianxia the most, I am still a member of the Xing family. Yesterday Xianxia treated me like that because of an outsider. Of course Grandpa would show his attitude. Now everyone is saying that the old man didn't appear because he's not satisfied with this little bride. That's how it should be. Help me add more stories. I just want to know how the Xin family is going to show their faces today. Xing Minghui was sitting in the living room of the Xing family's mansion. He was talking on the phone and smirking. Don't worry, it's just a small matter. There were so many people at the venue. Moreover, Mu Qiqi was a controversial person. It was very easy to add some spice to the story. Soon Xianxia brought Mu Qiqi to the entrance of the hotel. But before they entered the venue, Mama Xing secretly told Xianxia, "Your grandfather still hasn't appeared until now." "He will appear," Xianxia said. Then he lowered his head and looked at Mu Qiqi. "Are you ready to go in, my little wife?" "Of course, my future husband." Mu Qiqi looked at Xianxia with determination. She held his arm tightly. Then Xianxia brought Mu Qiqi into the venue. At that moment hundreds of people screamed. White balloons and flowers were flying all over the place. The combination of a handsome man and a beautiful woman was accompanied by such a young bride. Naturally, the cheers of the people at the venue were even louder. Mu Qiqi held her head high. She didn't panic at all. She stuck close to Xianxia. Because she knew that at this moment, Xianxia was the only person she could rely on. The two of them walked through the arched door filled with white flowers. Then they reached the stage. The engagement ceremony would be held at 10:48 in the morning. But even then Grandpa Xing still didn't show up. The guests rushed forward to take photos with the two of them. Of course, there was a lot of gossip among the guests. Even the head of the Xing family didn't show up. No matter how grand the engagement ceremony is, it won't be acknowledged by others. This little bride of the Xing family is amazing. I heard that she was adopted by the crown prince. Then she climbed into his bed. So good to be young. You can do whatever you want with your body. If she didn't do it, how could there be such a good thing today? You guys don't be so jealous. She is the daughter of the Shen family. It's ridiculous because she is the daughter of the Shen family. According to seniority, the crown prince is the uncle of this little bride. How can an uncle and a niece have such good cultivation? The gossip came one after another. The Shen family couldn't stand it anymore. It even involved Shen Jianchuan. Hey, do you see the man in the wheelchair? That is the eldest young master of the Shen family who could wake up after 10 years in a vegetative state. He is the biological father of the little bride. Speaking of which, it's even more interesting. They are twins of the same mother but different fathers. I don't know how promiscuous they are. But the Shen family has a military background. Those who are wearing military uniforms are not Grandpa Sheng's comrades. Unfortunately, these words were heard by Lin Mu, and who was squeezed in the crowd. He still remembered Lu Qianxian's instruction. If someone was to cause trouble for Mu Qiqi at the engagement ceremony, he must help them to make a name for themselves. So Lin Mu walked to the two beauties with champagne in his hand. Why are you talking so much when you are attending an engagement ceremony? Even if Mu Qiqi doesn't get Grandpa Sheng's approval, it won't be your turn. The two ladies looked at Lin Mu, and then took a few steps back. Sco. He is the young master of the Lin family. And also a man not to be trifled with. On the stage, Mu Qiqi and Xianxia were preparing for the ceremony. But below the stage these people were gossiping. That was why Lu Qianxian was not willing to appear. Otherwise it would be a good show. Lin Muan sneered. He suddenly sighed at the ruthlessness of the older generation. Whether it was his grandfather or the old man of the Xing family, they did not have any human feelings in their hearts. Even the crown prince could not force Grandpa Xing to attend the ceremony. Xianxia stood on the stage. Of course he knew what the people below the stage were thinking, because he did not see Grandpa Xing. But at this moment, a helicopter descended from the sky and landed on the lawn. Then a young foreign man came down from the helicopter. He had bodyguards with him. And the bodyguards were carrying real guns. Chapter 258. Who is that? I think I've seen him on the news before. He's a prince from a Nordic country. Yes. I heard that the crown prince personally invited him to attend his engagement ceremony. You can see how much he values Mu Qiqi. It's worth it to be able to see the elegance of a Nordic prince. It seems that the little bride has a very high status in the crown prince's heart. Otherwise he wouldn't have gone through so much trouble. The guests were instantly envious of Mu Qiqi when they saw the arrival of such an important guest. Meanwhile, Xianxia and Mu Qiqi went to welcome them personally. Oh, this bride is so beautiful. Xiao, you're really impressed. The guest glanced at Mu Qiqi and gave Xianxia a thumbs up. Charlie, thank you for coming. Xianxia had already prepared a throne to welcome the guest. Of course, the media took photos like crazy and reported the whole thing. Only then did Grandpa Xing realize that his good grandson had prepared such a card. Even the prince of another country came, but he, as his grandfather, did not show up. How would it look if the news got out? At this moment, the rumors about Mu Qiqi among the guests lessened a lot. Grandpa Xing was quite satisfied. It did not matter if Grandpa Xing came or not. Anyway, there was already a guest coming. Grandpa Xing was sulking at home. In the end, he asked the driver to prepare the car. He wanted to go to the engagement ceremony. Xing Minghui watched Grandpa Xing leave. She stomped her feet at home. She did not expect that her grandfather still wanted to go and support that little girl of unknown origin. But at the engagement ceremony, Xianxia did not want to wait for his grandfather at all. When it was 10:48, the MC took his position. The guests also took their seats. The atmosphere became quiet. Xianxia led Mu Qiqi to the white floral carpet. They walked all the way to the stage. He held his little wife's hand and walked with determination. At this time, Grandpa Xing arrived late. He walked into the hall with his walking stick and greeted everyone. I'm sorry. I'm late because I'm not feeling well. Father, sit here. Mama Xing guided Grandpa Xing to Grandpa Shen's side. Grandpa Xing is here. Then this little granddaughter-in-law, he admitted it, right? When the guests saw Grandpa Xing, they understood his attitude. His appearance was equivalent to admitting Mu Qiqi's identity. She was the little bride of the Xing family. No one could doubt her. Xianxia stood on the podium and watched his grandfather. The battle of wits and courage between grandfather and grandson would probably start today. Now, I hereby announce that the engagement ceremony between Mr. Xianxia and Miss Mu Qiqi begins. Newlyweds, please hold hands and face each other. Today, under the witness of our family and friends, I will host the engagement ceremony for the two newlyweds. I would also like to congratulate the two newlyweds. After getting to know each other and falling in love, we are ready to tie the knot and confirm each other's future marriage partners. After a long oath, the MC suddenly asked the guests present, friends and relatives of both sides, is there anyone who objects to the new couple? No one answered. Although old Sheng's expression was not good and he did not like Mu Qiqi, he would not go back on his word since he had promised it himself. All right, then I hope that in the coming days, the newlyweds can hold hands and move forward together and enter the marriage hall as soon as possible. Let's invite the newlyweds to exchange their engagement tokens. At this time, fourth sister brought a ring box with Xianxia and Mu Qiqi's engagement rings in it. This was the exclusive engagement ring for every descendant of Huang Yao. The names of the newlyweds would be engraved on it. Xianxia took out the ring from the box and raised Mu Qiqi's left hand solemnly. After putting the ring on her finger, he put it on his lips and kissed it gently. And Mu Qiqi also took out the ring and carefully put it on Xianxiao's finger. Seeing the sparkling diamond rings under the sun, Xianxia put his arms around Mu Qiqi's waist and kissed her lips in front of everyone. The guests suddenly became excited. The MC also smiled and said, "Congratulations to the newlyweds. The engagement ceremony has ended successfully. Next we will have a wonderful ball. Guests, please enjoy the romantic moment." The engagement ceremony went very smoothly, thanks to Charlie helping Xianxia at the scene. Grandpa Xing did not play any tricks. He sat on the chair willingly. However, old Master Shen was very unhappy beside him. "Grandpa Xing, we have been friends for decades. What's going on today? Grandpa Shen, what are you thinking? I'm just not feeling well. Mu Qiqi is my granddaughter-in-law. I'm looking forward to her arrival." "I don't think you're looking forward to it." Grandpa Shen snorted and stood up. "I'll go and greet my guest." Grandpa Xing was unwilling. But he still maintained his smile in front of everyone. He had to be kind and friendly, especially in front of the prince of another country. According to Jianchuan's tradition, Mu Qiqi will dance with your father later. Don't be afraid, Mu Qiqi. Do you understand? After the ceremony, Mama Xing walked to Mu Qiqi and reminded her carefully, "Grandpa Xing will not cause you trouble on such an occasion. He can't afford to lose his face." "Mom, I understand." Mu Qiqi nodded. Meanwhile, Xianxia looked at Papa Xing disdainfully. He reached out his hand to Mu Qiqi. "Come on, Mu Qiqi." Xianxia did not want to follow the rules. But Mama Xing reminded him not to be stubborn. Mu Qiqi was not a porcelain doll. Mu Qiqi comforted Xianxia with her eyes. Then she gave her hand to Papa Xing. But Xianxia did not want his father's hand to touch Mu Qiqi. So he put his mother's hand in Papa Xing's. "You dance with your woman. I'll dance with my woman." Then he led Mu Qiqi to the middle of the dance floor. "Why are you so narrow-minded? There are some things that I just can't accept." Xianxia hugged Mu Qiqi and whispered into her ear. "Don't be in a hurry to take off your gown tonight." "Why?" "You'll know at night." Xianxia hugged his little one and danced on the dance floor. It seemed to be the first time they danced together. Mu Qiqi was obviously not familiar with the steps. Ever since she learned how to dance, she rarely danced. But it did not affect their soul connection. Chapter 259. Although Grandpa Xing was not happy about it, he had made a lot of friends in the business world through the engagement ceremony. Moreover, he could have a relationship with the Prince of Northern Europe. It was beneficial for Huang Yao to expand its territory. Because of that, he could tolerate Mu Qiqi for the time being. Soon the engagement cake was brought to the table. Xianxia brought Mu Qiqi to the cake. Both of them took a knife and cut open the big cake. The guests applauded thunderously. At this time someone walked out from the crowd with a confident smile. She looked at Xianxia and Mu Qiqi and said, "I'm sorry, Qiqi. I'm late." The Shins were shocked when they saw her. Mama Xing frowned. Perhaps it was because Xin Rui was a member of the Xin family. So the security guards did not stop her. But she had been chased out of the Xin family a long time ago. Why did she appear here? I forgot to introduce myself. Perhaps many of you know me. I'm the eldest daughter of the Xin family. My name is Xin Rui. I'm also the cousin of the bride, Mu Qiqi. Xin Rui said with a smile. Suddenly her facial expression changed. She pointed at Mu Qiqi and said, "But do you know? I was chased out of the family by this cousin of mine. A granddaughter with an unknown background and an unattractive background has chased me, a dignified young lady, out of the door. How ironic. Most importantly, she knew that I liked Uncle Xiao. But she did not tell me about her relationship with Uncle Xiao. He treated me like a monkey. He played me like a fool. Mu Qiqi, tell me in front of everyone today. Are you trying so hard to marry into the Xing family?" Xin Rui screamed hysterically. Mu Qiqi's face darkened. "You're a very bold intruder. I could only watch as you devour everything around me. You're good. Now you've gotten what you wanted." Mu Qiqi. After listening to what Xin Rui said, all the guests looked at each other. Perhaps all of them were waiting for a good show because of Mu Qiqi's birth. Grandpa Xin was furious when he saw that. He asked Huang Yu to drag her away. "Second aunt, I know you're going to stop me. But I'm not afraid. Since I'm already here, I'm prepared to lose my reputation. But I'm going to drag Mu Qiqi to hell with me." Dear guests, you probably don't know how powerful my little cousin is. From the Mu family all the way to the Xin family, she defeated all her opponents one after another. Now she has become successful and is married to the crown prince. Mu Qiqi, it must be hard for you to be exposed, right? Xin Rui pushed Huang Yu away and laughed loudly. "Rui, save your grandpa's reputation." "Rui, of my reputation?" Xin Rui asked Huang Yu. "I don't believe that the Xing family will like this 18-year-old bride. I'm sure that the Xing family would rather choose me than Mu Qiqi if they have a choice." It was supposed to be a beautiful engagement ceremony. But because of Xin Rui's appearance, it became a scene of a fight between the sisters. But Xin Rui appeared. She came out to intensify the conflict. She wanted to vent her anger in front of everyone. Mama Xing went forward and wanted to say something. But Mu Qiqi stopped her. She did not let Xingxiao speak. She walked to Xin Rui and gave her a tight slap. "I don't care what you say about me. But you don't care about Grandpa's health. You've ruined the reputation of the Xin family. I want to wake you up with this slap." "You." Xin Rui covered her face. He was furious. "Xin Rui, everyone can tell right from wrong. Everyone has their own bottom line. They know whether their choice is good or bad. Do you think I'm so powerful that I can influence everyone's decision? You probably don't know that the one who influenced their decision was you, not me. The one who made grandfather sad and disappointed was you. The one who made grandfather give up on your family was also you. If you really have the self-awareness of being the Xin family's young lady at this moment, you wouldn't be standing here pointing at my nose and venting your dissatisfaction. Because of you, the Xin family will lose face. Xiao and I are engaged today. You came to make a scene. I don't mind. It's not because I'm generous. It's because I have to tell all the guests that I'm different from you. You're selfish. You can't bear the responsibility of the Xin family. So I'll bear the responsibility. I used to be sincere to you. Do you dare to say that I didn't treat you well when I came back from abroad?" Xin Rui questioned Mu Qiqi. "Including drugging me?" Mu Qiqi asked Xin Rui. "I found out where you got the medicine from during the birthday banquet. If you're sincere to me, tell me, why did you apply the medicine on me?" Xin Rui asked. Xin Rui put away her sharp gaze and looked away. "I think all the guests here are mocking me because of my birth, aren't they? They can tease me at any time no matter what the occasion is." Mu Qiqi suddenly let it go. She decided to tell the truth. "But I don't hate my birth at all." Mu Qiqi looked at Xin Jianchuan. Her voice was penetrating. "Because I have no choice. I only know that my mother gave birth to me after carrying me for 10 months. She experienced pain and danger too. She's as great as any other mother. My father was in a vegetative state for many years. People said that he was aggressive. But did any of you know that he was injured by someone? That's why he was bedridden for more than 10 years. As for me, do all of you think that your birth is nobler than mine? And you want to trample on me because of that nobility? But I won't allow you to trample on me. My birth may be controversial, but the education I received is not lesser than any of you. I know what's right and what's wrong. I'm an independent and complete person. As a basic human being, it's basic to respect others. It's human nature to make things difficult for others. Xinrui, I've torn apart what you said to the guests today. I don't think you have any other weapon to hurt me, right? I, Muqiqi, am standing here. I'm Xing Zhao's fiancée. I'm the granddaughter of the Xin family. I used to be a member of the Mu family. But I don't steal or rob. I've never done evil to anyone. I live my life openly. If you want to laugh at me, go ahead. Chapter 260. Xinrui, are you trying to drag me down to hell? But I don't blame myself. My heart isn't made to contain a resentful villain like you. I want to cherish the people I care about and protect the people I value. As for lovers, relatives, friends, you don't have any of these, do you? At that moment, the 18-year-old Muqiqi showed her tenacity and softness as a woman. She never abandoned her family background. She was neither humble nor arrogant. Even when she was being mocked, she was not afraid at all. These words were sonorous and forceful. All the guests were convinced by her. There was a rumor that this girl became famous during the birthday banquet of the Lin family. But they did not expect that she was so powerful. After that, Muqiqi turned around and looked at Grandpa Xin. She said to him, "Grandpa, please don't blame Xinrui. It's the biggest punishment for her to see me standing here with a strong will. I don't think I'm a disgrace. Because I'm an upright person." Grandpa Xin got up from his chair and walked toward Muqiqi. He hugged his granddaughter gently. "I'm old now. But after hearing what you said just now, I feel that you're the hope of the Xin family. Today is your big day. I have nothing else to give you. I just want to tell you that I'll always stand behind you. If anyone dares to mock my granddaughter, you should ask for the medal in my hand first. You only remember the ridiculous things that happened in the Xin family. But you don't remember how many lives I've saved. As for Xinrui, I'll ask the security guards to take her away now. She's not a member of the Xin family. We don't have such a cruel and unscrupulous person." When Grandpa Xin finished speaking, Lin Mu and took the lead to applaud. He was clapping from the bottom of his heart. He seemed to understand why Muqiqi could stand out from so many rich young ladies and gain Xing Zhao's favor. It was because she was broad-minded even though she was only 18 years old. He had a vision and a mind. She was not the kind of person who would do anything for money. He was a generous person. Such a person with a soul would naturally be recognized and loved by others. Even the Nordic prince gave her a thumbs up. She's a respectable girl. Xianxia hugged Muqiqi and watched as the little one conquered the guests like an orator. He suddenly sighed inwardly. The timid little one from before seemed to have disappeared just like that. Soon Xinrui was kicked out in front of the guests. Then the MC raised his glass to warm up the atmosphere. "To our generous bride-to-be, everyone raise your hands, cheers." Old Xing glanced at the atmosphere. It was fortunate that Muqiqi had redeemed the situation, or the Xing family would have been utterly humiliated. The little one seemed to have a temper, and he knew very well that it was very similar to his grandson Xianxia. If he wasn't trained, he wouldn't believe it at all. Xianxia did not say a word from start to end. Later, someone asked, "Why didn't you stand up for your wife when she was being bullied just now?" "I survived." Xianxia answered with a smile. "I trained her myself. She's not a girl who needs a man's protection. She has self-esteem and she has her own self. I'm fascinated by her." Muqiqi seemed to be tracked by a tracking device in the crowd. Xing Zhao's eyes were fixed on her all the time. It seemed that he had no intention of moving his eyes away. Soon it was lunchtime for the engagement ceremony. Muqiqi drank some red wine during the banquet. He was a little drunk. Mama Xing saw that and quickly said to Xianxia, "Bring Muqiqi upstairs to rest. The hotel has specially prepared a new room for you." "Mom, I'll leave the guests to you." Then Xianxia carried Muqiqi in his arms. Muqiqi was a little dizzy. She went into the room and lay on the bed with a red face. Xianxia lifted her chin when he saw that. He looked at her with intoxicated eyes. "Little one." Muqiqi moaned. "You're my fiancé now." Then Xianxia carried Mu Qiqi up from the bed and kissed her passionately. Mu Qiqi responded instinctively. Then her body went limp. Downstairs the guests were singing and dancing. It was very lively. In the wedding room, Xianxia liked the gown that Mu Qiqi was wearing very much. Even though he was kissing her, he did not want to take it off for her. "Here, I want you. The gown will be ruined," Mu Qiqi said with her eyes blurred. Xianxia could not hold it anymore. He pushed the gown to her upper body. He did not care about this little one who was drunk. He just wanted to melt into her blood and bones. He had long wanted to hold such a beautiful little thing in his arms and dote on her. Downstairs, fourth sister probably knew that her brother would not come downstairs. So she greeted the Nordic prince on his behalf. The two of them were conversing in English. They were having a good time. Grandpa Xing could not help but have some thoughts when he saw that. Anyway, fourth sister had not been in a relationship for many years. If she could marry a princess, it would be a good choice. It would help Huang Yao to reach a higher level. Perhaps it was because Grandpa Xing had been expanding his territory for half of his life. So, even when he was old, he would not forget to find a chance for Huang Yao to reach a higher level. Look at those two. They are having a good conversation. Mama Xing understood what Grandpa Xing meant. She smiled. If this is fourth sister's fate, we will be happy to see it happen. Jingyun was not far away. When he saw the scene, he walked away quietly. Many years ago he could not stop that man from hurting fourth sister. Now he did not have the status to stop fourth sister from dating another man. But he would feel heartache when he saw fourth sister with another man. But he could not do anything about it. He was loyal to the Xing family. He knew very well that even if the end of the world came, Grandpa Xing would not allow him to be with fourth sister. And fourth miss didn't like him either. He was just an assistant. On the other hand, Lin Mu and had recorded the video of the engagement ceremony. He sent it to Lu Qianqian. Just take it that you were here. Lu Qianqian watched the video and nodded. My seventh sister is so beautiful and powerful. From now on she will be the crown princess. She will be very happy after marrying into the Xing family. I don't think so. The Xing family doesn't like her. Lin Mu and could see it clearly. Of course, with the crown prince around, she will not be at a disadvantage. You seventh sister are not a person who will be at a disadvantage. Seeing Grandpa Xing picking on you, I really want to see him slap his face one day. Because I realized that Qiqi is quite liked by the old man. Of course. Lu Qianqian snorted proudly. I did not expect that she would really marry into the Xing family just like that. Also, I noticed something interesting just now. What is it? Lu Qianqian asked quickly. Didn't you notice that Jingyun was very strange in the video? Why are you paying attention to the crown prince's assistant? Lu Qianqian went to watch the video. Chapter 261. Lu Qianqian felt that it made sense. So she replayed the video a few times. In the end, she found out that Jingyun was looking at something when he looked sad. Why didn't you record the whole video? If I want to know where he was looking at, I can just go to the hotel and get the CCTV footage. But I don't think it's my business. Lin Mu, and did not like to dig up other people's secrets. You're right. Lu Qianqian could feel how much Jingyun wanted to hide everything. You can have fun. I have seen how beautiful Qiqi is. I am satisfied. Where are you this afternoon? Let me accompany you. Lin Mu, and suddenly had an idea. Grandpa Xing is drunk today. He should not notice me. I am being tortured by my coach. Lu Qianqian snorted. I am practicing fencing. Tell me the address. I will come over now. Lin Mu, and sneaked away from the engagement ceremony when Grandpa Xing was dozing off. There were so many beautiful women there. He did not want to talk to them. He would rather smell Lu Qianqian's sweat. At 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Xianxia walked out of the new house energetically. He took over the task from fourth sister and received his distinguished guest personally. When he saw Charlie and fourth sister chatting happily, Xianxia could not help but ask Charlie, "Do you like Asian women? Your sister is a very beautiful woman. Do you want to go further?" Charlie shrugged and patted Xianxia's shoulder. I'm going back to China. I hope that the next time I see you will be at your wedding ceremony. The little bride is very cute. If you really want to, you can contact me anytime. Xianxia sent him to the helicopter and shook his hand. It is so interesting to know you. I am already looking forward to our next meeting. Xianxia smiled and waved at him. If the Nordic prince really liked fourth sister, it would be a good marriage. So when Charlie left, Xianxia asked fourth sister, "Are you interested in the princess of Nordic Europe?" Fourth sister patted the back of his hand. "Not interested. I thought that you and Charlie are going to have a romantic relationship. Are you willing to let your sister marry so far away?" Xianxia shrugged. A smile appeared on his handsome face. "Do you think that Grandpa Xing did not see what happened just now? Now I'm afraid he's going to make this his next target. I did it for you." Fourth sister glared at Xianxia. "Where's Chi-Chi?" "He's still sleeping. Plus the old man is here. Do you think he'll tell you about Charlie?" Xianxia pointed at a spot not far away with his chin. Fourth sister followed his line of sight and saw that Grandpa Xing was indeed looking at her. "Minglong, come here." Fourth sister looked at Xianxia helplessly. Then she followed Grandpa Xing to a place where they could talk. Because not only did Grandpa Xing treat this matter seriously, but he also put it on the agenda. "I will ask someone to find out about the prince's information. Eighth brother, you should be prepared to be the princess." "Grandpa, are you really willing to let me marry far away? There's nothing wrong with that. You're not young anymore." As a member of the Xing family, fourth sister knew that she could not decide her own marriage. Although Xianxia could get engaged to Mu Chichi now, it was still unknown whether Mu Chichi could marry into the Xing family in the end. Resist? That would be like falling into the depths of hell. Do you think you'll be fine if you don't want the wealth of the Xing family? It also means that you can only accept your fate and be suppressed by the Xing family for the rest of your life. Fourth sister did not say anything, but she was unhappy. Her eyes turned red. Jingyun felt sorry for her. He held the handkerchief in his hand, but he did not know how to give it to fourth sister. Xianxia could tell that his fourth sister clearly did not mean it that way. That was why he would not mention it to Charlie. Otherwise Grandpa Xing would never let it go. Grandpa Xing had been controlling others all his life. But he could not control Xianxia. Soon Xianxia went to the new room and let his little one get up. On the way he received a call from Susie Pei. The doctor had asked her to rest in bed, so she could not come to the hotel. Xianxia comforted her. He had recorded the ceremony today. He would send it to her later. It would fulfill one of her wishes. In the room, Mu Chichi was sleeping soundly on the bed with her arms exposed. Xianxia took her out of the blanket and helped her put on the dress. "It's almost time for the banquet. I'll ask someone to touch up your makeup. It's all your fault." Mu Chichi punched Xianxiao's chest. He knew that it was such an important day, but he insisted on it. He could not even wait for the night. "If you don't want to walk, I can carry you the whole time." Mu Chichi became energetic when she heard that. She quickly got up. "I want to wash my face and touch up my makeup. I have my ways to deal with you." Xianxia smiled and pinched Mu Chichi's nose. Then he got up and asked the makeup artist to enter the room. At the same time, fourth sister was in a bad mood after Grandpa Xing ruined her marriage. She was drinking alone in the room. Jingyun knew that. He went to the door and knocked on it. "Miss Minglong." Fourth sister opened the door after a long time. She smiled when she saw Jingyun. "Jingyun, come in." "I won't come in," said Jingyun. He did not want others to misunderstand fourth sister. Women shouldn't drink too much. It's bad for their health. "Who cares?" Fourth sister laughed at herself. "You can go now. I'll come out soon." "Okay." After that, Jingyun closed the door. But he did not leave. A drunk woman in the hotel was the most dangerous. So he just stood in front of fourth sister's door. He looked so quiet. It was because he did not know how to help fourth sister. And he could not stop her from marrying anyone. Sometimes he wished that he had the courage of his young master. He could do whatever he wanted. But he knew that it would only hurt more people. About 40 minutes later, fourth sister opened the door. She frowned when she saw Jingyun still standing there. "Why are you still here?" "I'm worried. There are so many guests in the hotel. And you are the young lady of the Xing family. So it's natural for me to guard you." Fourth sister took a deep breath and nodded. "I look terrible, don't I?" "Not really. You look beautiful." Fourth sister suddenly blushed. But she still walked in front of Jingyun. When Jingyun saw that she had reached a safe place, he stopped following her. It was because he would be discovered easily. When fourth sister found out that Jingyun was so considerate, she was touched. The child she brought back was so kind. Chapter 262. During the banquet, the guests asked about the exact date of their wedding, but old Xing simply smiled and avoided the topic, answering, "Mu Qi is still young. She would naturally fall when the time is right. Just let nature take its course." At that moment, Mu Qiqi hated herself for being so young that she could not truly be Xiaoxiao's wife. Xiao held Mu Qiqi's hand under the table and comforted her. It was fine to let the old man's words go in one ear and out the other. There was no need to take every word to heart. Mu Qiqi smiled and looked at him. She was disappointed, but she was not afraid. After the banquet, the guests left. The Xin family bid farewell to the Sheng family too. Xin Jianchuan had been out for a whole day and should be returning to the hospital. Mu Qiqi walked to Xin Jianchuan and held his hand. "Xiaoqi is still your daughter. It will not change in this life." Silly child. Xin Jianchuan was reluctant to part with her. But he did not show his sadness because he did not want to burden Mu Qiqi. Grandpa Xin pushed Xin Jianchuan away. Soon the whole family disappeared from the entrance of the hotel. "You must be tired today. Go back and rest. As for Mu Qiqi, come back to the Xing family some other day. I have something to tell you," Grandpa Xing said to Xianxia and Mu Qiqi before he left. Mu Qiqi nodded immediately. "Of course. Take care, Grandpa. Let's go back to Jingting." Xianxia saw that everyone had left and brought his wife home. But when they reached home, Xianxia pressed Mu Qiqi on the passenger seat before they got out of the car. "Do you know how much you have teased me today? Did you not have enough for the afternoon?" Mu Qiqi looked at him helplessly. How could this man be so strong? "Do you think I can?" With that, Xianxia got out of the car and carried Mu Qiqi out of the passenger seat. Then they walked to the bedroom. When they were lying on the bed, Xianxia and Mu Qiqi interlocked their fingers. "Since we are engaged, shouldn't we change the way we address each other?" Mu Qiqi blushed and felt hot. "Then, what do you want me to call you? What do you think?" Xianxia hooked her chin and looked into her eyes seriously. "If it weren't for the fact that you're only 18 years old, you would already be my wife. And what do wives usually call their husbands?" Those hands appeared to be filled with magic, leaving her unable to think and at his mercy. "Xiao, wrong name." Xianxia smiled playfully and kissed her frivolously. "Say it again." Xingxiao's eyes darkened. "Hubby." Mu Qiqi felt very uncomfortable, but she couldn't resist the man's teasing because he was an addictive drug. "Remember, I'm your husband, your husband." With that, the two of them joined together. Mu Qiqi let out a satisfied sigh. She had never thought that she would get married at 18. Moreover, the man was Xianxia. From the day she fell in love with him, Mu Qiqi felt that she had fallen in love with someone she shouldn't have. She could only live in hell for the rest of her life. But she dragged him down with her. Now she really couldn't run away anymore. But now that the two of them had already passed their wedding night, could they still be so sentimental when they really got married? That night was both romantic and cruel. To the newlyweds it was a happy night. But to Xing Minglan she felt like she was being grilled on the grill. Not only did Grandpa Xing tell her about it during the engagement ceremony, he even brought it up in front of the whole family when he got home. The Xings were very envious. They felt that Grandpa Xing had found a good marriage for her. But to her, Grandpa Xing's cruelty was equivalent to killing her heart. Jing Yun heard about Grandpa Xing's arrangement outside the living room. He was not feeling better than Xing Minglan. He used to fantasize about who Miss Minglan would marry. But he never thought that she would marry so far away. After Xing Minglan returned to her room, she called Xianxia immediately. Although she knew that she shouldn't disturb Xianxia at this moment. At the same time in Jingting. When Xianxia entered the bathroom with his little one, he received Xing Minglan's call. "Fourth sister. I don't want to get married to Northern Europe. But Grandpa has taken it seriously. If you can think of a way to make the Northern Europeans reject him, I will be very grateful. It's not easy for a prince to get married. Even if Grandpa is powerful, he can't reach to Northern Europe. Don't worry, fourth sister." "What's the use of me not worrying? Today is the Northern European prince. What about tomorrow?" Xing Minglan sounded depressed. "Sometimes it's too tiring to be a Xing. If you really don't want Grandpa to control your marriage, we can negotiate. But for now, you should help me deal with Charlie." After hanging up, Xianxia immediately called Northern Europe. He was sure that the Northern Europeans did not want to marry an Asian woman as their princess. They would not choose an Asian woman as their princess. What's wrong, fourth sister? Mu Qiqi asked when she saw Xianxia calling her twice. Grandpa wants to control fourth sister's marriage. But fourth sister doesn't agree. Little one, you should call fourth sister more often when you have time. Sometimes the Sheng family is like a prison. Mu Qiqi nodded. She pulled Xianxia to kneel down and kissed him deeply on the lips. Call me that again before you sleep? Hubby, Xianxia was satisfied. Then he lay in the bathtub with Mu Qiqi to relieve his fatigue. But Xianxia did not expect that the first thing Jing Yun did when he saw him the next day was to beg him. Miss Minglan seems to be confused. Young master, can you help her? Xianxia looked at Jing Yun. He looked at him from head to toe. This is the first time you asked me for help because of someone else. Miss Minglan saved me. Is that so? Jing Yun, you should know how Cheer and I got here. She has used this excuse of yours many times. Xianxia chuckled. But it's true. Jing Yun looked into Xianxiao's eyes. The master and the servant just stared at each other. After a while, Xianxiao nodded. She told me last night that the Northern Europeans have no such plans. You don't have to worry. But, Jing Yun, you should know who controls fourth sister's fate. If it's not the Northern European prince today, it could be an American tycoon tomorrow. That has nothing to do with me. Jing Yun answered honestly. He could not control it. Chapter 263. There was still room for negotiation. It was not a dead end yet. But Grandpa Xing asked Xing Minglan to go to Northern Europe with him for a few days. Even if Xianxiao had received the news, Grandpa Xing would try his best to persuade Xing Minglan again. Moreover, Xianxiao was in contact with Charlie, while Grandpa Xing was in contact with the nobles in Northern Europe. So he thought that as long as Charlie was not married, there was still room for negotiation. Although Xing Minglan was not anxious, she had completely given up on Grandpa Xing. Meanwhile, Xing Minghui said sarcastically, I did not expect that Grandpa wants to marry fourth sister to a place so far away. How can we be reunited in the future? It is me today and it will be you tomorrow. No one can run away. Xing Minglan did not bother to talk to her. She left after saying that. Xing Minghui, on the other hand, did not look too good. Because Xing Minglan was right. If she could not find someone she liked in the limited time, she would have to live under Grandpa Xing's control for the rest of her life. Seeing Xing Minglan's miserable state, Xing Minglan could not just sit back and watch. After Xianxiao knew about it, he told Xing Minglan not to worry. Even if they went to Northern Europe, there would not be too many changes. The royal family of Northern Europe would definitely not want an Asian woman. But Xing Minglan felt sad even if she was going there as a guest. At night she could only drink at home. When Jing Yun came home from Huangyao and heard about it, he felt sad. But there was nothing he could do. He could only stay in front of Xing Minglan's room in the middle of the night. Young master had said that it would not happen. He trusted Xianxiao. But it was another matter if fourth sister was sad. Late at night, Xianxiao returned home and told Mu Qiqi about Grandpa Xing bringing fourth sister to Northern Europe. Mu Qiqi felt helpless when she heard about it. It's not like the Xing family has a throne to inherit. Why would Grandpa be so stubborn and interfere with his children's marriage? He only has a grand ambition in his heart. Xianxiao pulled Mu Qiqi into his arms and hugged his little wife tightly. I've discovered something. What is it? That blockhead Jing Yun might like fourth sister. Xianxiao said as he stroked Mu Qiqi's hair. This man never asks me for anything. But this morning he asked me to help fourth sister. Just based on that? Of course not. Jing Yun has been living under the Xing family's roof all these years, so he knows how to control his emotions better than anyone else. Sometimes he is as cold as a block of ice because he has accepted his fate. How many children did the Xing family have? None of the Xing family members ever smiled when they got married. But he never cared about anyone. Perhaps he owes fourth sister a favor. Xianxiao smiled and shook his head again. You should be the one who understands Jing Yun the best. He wouldn't have come to me if he hadn't endured to the limit. Mu Qiqi remembered her crush on Xiaoxiao when she heard that and couldn't help but pity him. You little thing, you guessed it right. What? There's really an impossible person hiding in Jing Yun's heart. Xianxiao remembered what Mu Qiqi said back then. But Mu Qiqi could not laugh. If that's the case, the situation would be even worse. Let's not talk about whether Miss Minglon likes Jing Yun. No, I should say that regardless of whether Miss Minglon likes Jing Yun, the Xing family must not know Jing Yun's feelings. You don't want to help him. What's more important now is to help fourth sister out of her misery. No one could change Grandpa Xing's mind. He could only play along for now. Kissing Mu Qiqi's forehead, Xianxia suddenly said, I'll ask Jing Yun to book a plane ticket to Northern Europe in the morning. We'll be one step ahead of Grandpa Xing and end things. All right. Mu Qiqi nodded. So now hurry up. Hurry up for what? Mu Qiqi was puzzled. Hurry up for loving you for once. Mu Qiqi was speechless. That night Xing Minglon couldn't sleep at all. In the middle of the night she held a bottle of wine and stared blankly in the garden. And Jing Yun was the one who couldn't sleep with her. Thinking about how stressed she was, Jing Yun could only hate himself for not being able to do anything. He could only watch from afar, afraid that he would cause trouble for her. But his feet wouldn't listen to him. Even though he knew that one step forward could lead him to hell, Jing Yun still walked towards her. Fourth sister, drinking like this is bad for your health. Xing Minglon looked up and saw Jing Yun. She smiled. Why aren't you asleep? It's already past midnight. I still have some unfinished business. I came out to clear my head and saw you. Isn't Xianxia squeezing you too much? I'll talk to him another day. Are you really that unhappy? Jing Yun suddenly asked Xing Minglon. Xing Minglon took a deep breath and smiled mockingly. Sometimes I really envy Xianxia. He knew his limits from the start. Otherwise he wouldn't have to be manipulated by others. Happiness. In this family no one cares about happiness the most. Jing Yun, I'm not just envious of Xianxia. I'm envious of you. You're not a Xing, so you don't have to be restrained by Grandpa. You're drunk. Jing Yun took the wine glass away from her hand. Are you going to deprive me of my last bit of freedom? Jing Yun looked at her, suddenly having a bold idea. Although Xianxia was already on the plane to Northern Europe, he still wanted to do it. What would you choose if I could help you leave the Xing family? I can't escape. I can escape. Jing Yun told her confidently. I know the scope of Huang Yao's business and the blind spots. Why do you want to help me? You'll be dead if Grandpa finds out. Jing Yun said nothing. He did not answer. But his eyes revealed everything. Because I don't want to see you suffer. Jing Yun, I don't need to escape. I just need to get engaged and married and Grandpa won't be able to control me anymore. You have a point. Jing Yun forced a smile to hide his heartache. Idiot. Xing Minglon did not say anything else, but she seemed to have a plan in her mind. Instead of sitting and waiting for death, it was better to take the initiative. Moreover, there were suitable candidates in her contacts who could help. Still, it would take some time to plan. When the trip to Northern Europe was over, she would completely leave the Xing family. I'm going to rest. Jing Yun knew that there was nothing he could do, and did not want to add to Xing Minglon's worries. Xing Minglon nodded. Go. Don't work so late next time. Okay. Jing Yun nodded obediently. Chapter 264. Jing Yun had hidden his feelings too well that Xing Minglon could not tell. But Xianxia saw through it. Xianxia went to Northern Europe and met Charlie. He told him about his family's situation, and Charlie had already made up his mind to accept the royal family's arrangement and marry the daughter of a Northern European magnate. Thanks, Charlie. I just hope that there will be one less person in this world who is manipulated by their elders. As for Mu Qiqi, she invited fourth sister to Jingting for dinner after class. The new maid Aunt Wu was working. She was a good cook and was very kind. I really envy you. Xing Minglon looked at Jingting and said to Mu Qiqi, Xiaoqi, I always hope that I can meet a man like Xianxia who can free me from my shackles. Fourth sister, don't think too much since you are out. Just be happy in Jingting. Don't worry. Let me tell you a secret. Xiaoxia went to Northern Europe last night. I didn't dote on him for nothing. Xing Minglon smiled. Then how are you going to solve this? You can't just drag it on like this. Grandpa might fancy a Northern European prince today, but he might fancy someone else in the future. Do you think that I have been doing nothing all these years? Xing Minglon sneered. If Grandpa keeps forcing me, I will start my own family. But, are you trying to say that I can't win against Huang Yao? How would I know if I haven't tried? Xing Minglon asked in return. If Xianxia could fight with Grandpa to the death, I can do the same. I'm just a body. If I can't live the life I want, I'd rather die. Xing Minglan said. Muqiqi could feel it very well. Xiao and I will support you. Xiao values you as much as his own life. I don't dare to let you offend Grandpa. You should let me do something too. Otherwise, I will really become an 18-year-old bride. Muqiqi raised her glass and clinked glasses with Xing Minglan. I almost forgot that you also fought against fate. Xing Minglan drank as she chatted with Muqiqi. The two of them were like sisters and there was no distinction between them. Jing Yun stood by the door and listened to their conversation. For some reason he felt a little more relaxed. At least Miss Minglan was not waiting to die. Since Xing Minglan could not drive after drinking, Muqiqi asked Jing Yun to send her home. On the way home, Jing Yun suddenly said to the woman behind him, I can help you, Miss Minglan. I have first-hand information about Huang Yao. As long as you want to fight, I'll bear with Grandpa for the last time. Xing Minglan mumbled and fell asleep in Jing Yun's car. Meanwhile, Grandpa Xing soon received news from Northern Europe that Prince Charlie had announced that he was getting married. The old man didn't even have time to set off. Therefore, this matter could only be left unsettled. Grandpa Xing even consoled her afterward. I'll arrange a better marriage for you in the future. There was a hidden meaning in Xing Minglan's eyes. If there was a next time, she would definitely leave Huang Yao. On the morning of the third day, Xiao returned from Northern Europe and successfully solved Xing Minglan's urgent problem. It was a worthwhile trip. When he returned, the little one was still sleeping soundly. Seeing that, Xiao took off his clothes and lay down beside Muqiqi. The little one might have felt the familiar warmth and threw herself on him. Xiao hugged the little one and breathed in the fragrance of her hair, relieving the fatigue all over his body. After a while, Muqiqi woke up from Xiao's arms. She saw the man beside her and couldn't help kissing his forehead. You are seducing me. Xiao opened his eyes suddenly and startled Muqiqi. How can kissing my forehead count? Muqiqi quickly got up. Is fourth sister's problem settled? Xiao turned Muqiqi over and pressed her under his body. You are the one in danger now. Aunt Wu will wake me up later. Muqiqi looked at the bedroom door nervously. Sure enough, Aunt Wu came to Muqiqi's door a few minutes later. She didn't know that Xiao had returned in the middle of the night. Young madam, it's time to go to school. Muqiqi was about to say something when Xiao kissed her. Young madam? Aunt Wu, you can leave first. After a while, Xiao's voice came from the gap of the door. Aunt Wu understood and left the room quietly. The young couple was really attached to each other, especially in the morning when they were full of energy. Save me some face in front of Aunt Wu. Muqiqi was helpless and bit the man's nose anxiously. Xiao grabbed her hands and kissed them. We haven't seen each other for 3 days. Don't you miss me? To be precise, it was 1 day and 2 nights. This man liked to exaggerate. Xiao, call me hubby. There was no room for Muqiqi to speak. There was no room at all. When they cleaned up and went downstairs, the breakfast prepared by Aunt Wu was already cold. Your morning class is in the 3rd period. Do you think I don't know? Xiao saw Muqiqi's dissatisfied face and immediately pinched her nose. I'm asking about your 4th sister. If I can't do it well, then don't count on others. Xiao gave her the answer. The old man was happy for nothing. Grandpa called last night and asked us to go back for dinner tonight. On the day of the engagement, he told me that he wanted to talk to me alone. I can't run away today. Am I afraid of him? Xiao said indifferently. I taught you. You should be used to my attitude towards him. So there's nothing to be afraid of. I'm not afraid of him. Have you? At the very least, I have Dad and Grandpa. Then what are you worried about? I want to help 4th sister. Maybe in your eyes I'm courting death. Muqiqi answered Xiao seriously. Actually, I want to help Jing Yun too. They don't need your help. Xiao told her directly. 4th sister is not as obedient as you think. Jing Yun is not as obedient as you think. What you need to do is to study hard and be a good forensic doctor. If you keep pestering me like this, I'll burn incense and pray to Buddha if I don't fail my subjects at the end of the semester. If you keep looking at me like this, I'll make sure you can't go to the 3rd period in the morning. Xiao suddenly smiled and threatened Muqiqi. Muqiqi quickly looked away and tried to stuff some breakfast into her mouth. This man was really a devil. Chapter 265. The people in school liked to call Mu Qiqi the little bride of the Xing family. She was the object of envy for being able to win Xing Zhao's favor at the age of 18 or 19. In school there were posts and forums dedicated to her and Xing Zhao's current situation, as if the others could join the rich and fly up the branches like phoenixes just by looking at her. In the eyes of outsiders, Mu Qiqi was a very mysterious person. She did not interact with anyone in school and would do whatever she wanted at all times. She was not interested in the things the girls discussed either. She would go home after school and would go to the dissection room or the lab after class. Even as Xing Zhao's fiancée, she was not materialistic or vulgar at all. That was what the girls admired about her. At that moment the bell rang. When Mu Qiqi put away her documents, she saw Xing Zhao leaning against the car outside the classroom. The classroom was in an uproar, but everyone knew who the man was here to pick up. Mu Qiqi walked out and Xing Zhao took her bag from her and threw it in the back seat. They got into the car at the same time and soon disappeared from the students' sight. Just watch. Those two won't last long. Since when did the Xing family have a daughter-in-law who studies forensic science? But I think they are very loving. Someone was discussing the famous couple on the way to school. That's because you don't understand rich families. That said, Mu Qiqi is really professional. She is a girl, but she is not soft at all when it comes to physics and chemistry. Her professional skills are excellent. At present, Mu Qiqi was completely used to such discussions, and was also used to Xing Zhao appearing beneath a certain academic building whenever and wherever he wanted. Mu Qiqi could not help smiling at the thought. "What are you smiling about?" Xing Zhao asked Mu Qiqi with his right hand on the steering wheel and his left hand on the window. "I'm smiling because you used to be so flamboyant in school and now I'm being watched everywhere. Why don't people know about outstanding people?" Xing Zhao was such a person. He was flamboyant because he was capable and never hid himself. He believed that capable people should enjoy the flowers and applause of the world. What was there to be afraid of? What was there to be afraid of? Soon their car drove into Xing Mansion. Xing Minglan and Mama Xing were waiting at the door. When Mu Qiqi saw them, she could not help telling them, "You're my elders. You don't have to take care of me like this. It's only your second time here. Who else should I take care of if not you?" Xing Minglan smiled and turned to lead the way. When they arrived at the dining room, the elders of the Xing family took their seats one after another. Mama Xing thought that she might not be able to distinguish the uncles when she introduced them to Mu Qiqi that night. However, Mu Qiqi did not hesitate at all. She called out the order of the uncles without any prompting. Mama Xing was a little surprised. This girl's memory was really good. "Qiqi, it's your second time here. Be casual." Old Xing showed his kind side. But the way Xing Minghui looked at Mu Qiqi was full of hatred. How could she eat with Mu Qiqi at the table? "I heard that people who study forensic science have a rotten smell on them, and their hands touch a lot of unsightly things. Mu Qiqi, I'm a little disgusted with you sitting in front of me like that. I can't help it, I have a good imagination." Everyone could hear the unfriendliness in Xing Minghui's words. But it must be said that the Xing family took this issue very seriously. After all, the thought of corpses and internal organs really made their stomachs uncomfortable. Mama Xing could not help but want to say something. But Mu Qiqi spoke before she could. "You don't have to take those courses in the first year. So you are thinking too early, seventh sister." She was neither humble nor arrogant. There was not a trace of fear in her eyes. "It's not early, little girl. You can't make everyone lose their appetite every time you come, can you? And who in the Xing family would do that kind of work?" "Then do you have any good suggestions, seventh sister?" Mu Qiqi threw the question back to Xing Minghui. "It's simple. Change your course. Or don't come to the Xing family. Isn't that easy? But I'm doing well in my studies. I don't want to change." Mu Qiqi replied to Xing Minghui stubbornly. "If you don't want to see me, you can just avoid me. You actually want me, the young lady of the Xing family, to avoid you. What else can I do? After all, you are the one who feels uncomfortable when you see me. You have to think about your own health." The elders of the Xing family did not stop them when they saw them bickering. Grandpa Xing even smiled. The dining table was very quiet when Qiqi was not around. Now it's finally lively. "But Qiqi, can you really not change your studies? The Xing family is a prestigious family after all. Eighth brother can arrange whatever you want to do. Even if you don't want to learn anything and just want to play at home, it's still better than eighth brother being talked about behind his back. Xing Minghui looked at Mu Qiqi. She wanted to know how she would answer Grandpa Xing. Will you be criticized? Mu Qiqi turned to ask Xianxia, who was beside her. Xianxia looked playful. Who would dare to? Then there's no problem. Mu Qiqi did not care about Grandpa Xing's pressure at all. She was as soft as a ball of cotton. He was not angry. He was just talking about the matter. As an elder, how could he not let the little girl go? Now that you mention it, I am being a busybody. Qiqi, although you are a Xin, you are also a new member of the Xing family. Remember to respect your elders. Okay, Grandpa. Although you are engaged to Xianxia and everything is official, don't be too proud. After all, you still have a few years to register your marriage. The old man's words carried a hint of threat. Be more polite to your seventh sister next time. Understand? As for your course, I will arrange for you to transfer to another faculty. You can also tell Grandpa which university you like. It seemed that this dictator was going to put his hands on her head. Xing Minghui looked at Mu Qiqi provocatively. She knew that Grandpa Xing would always side with his granddaughter. How could he help an outsider? With Mu Qiqi's capability, how could she overcome the Buddha's 5 fingers mountain? Mu Qiqi said nothing. But Xianxia put food in Mu Qiqi's bowl. He said to everyone, how can I let others interfere with Cheer's matter? Save it. Xianxia, how can you say that? If seventh sister insists on interfering with our lives, I will find a good black man and send him to your bed on a good day. Xing Minghui's face changed. Don't you think you are shameless? What can you do to me? Xianxia retorted. Grandpa, if you're asking us to go home just to talk nonsense, then don't count us in. After all, there's food everywhere, isn't there? Chapter 266. Xianxia, you are only engaged. You are not married. Grandpa Xing was a little angry. I thought you would have to endure it for a few more years. So, you want to make things ugly now? Xianxia leaned against the chair and glared at Grandpa Xing. You are engaged to an 18-year-old girl. Don't you have to follow the rules? She's my woman. I know how to discipline her even if she does something wrong. Why do you need to worry about that? Can't I say something? No. Xianxia replied firmly. And you, seventh sister, if you cause trouble again, don't blame me for not warning you beforehand. Just as Xianxia finished speaking, he heard a loud slap. The old man slammed his hand on the table and pointed at Xianxia. I'd like to see if you can live a long life with such a young and delicate wife. Xianxia hugged Mu Qiqi's shoulder and looked at Grandpa Xing fearlessly. You guys can eat. Grandpa Xing stood up and left the table. He brought seventh sister and fourth uncle with him. Xianxia, don't use force against Grandpa every time. It is not good for Mu Qiqi. Fourth sister felt goosebumps all over her body when she thought of the tense atmosphere just now. I'm not afraid. Mu Qiqi immediately stood up and expressed her attitude. Xianxia caressed Mu Qiqi's hair and smiled. Whether it is soft or hard, I will not let Cheer be wronged, especially in front of me. What if Grandpa decides to use force one day? I can afford it. But he can't. Xianxia said firmly to fourth sister. You can continue to do that. Papa Xing could not stand Xingxiao's protective attitude. So he stood up and left the table. Xianxia ignored him and said to Mu Qiqi, hurry up and eat. Let's go home early. I'm trying my best. Mu Qiqi tilted her head. There were a few weirdos in the Xing family. One was Grandpa Xing, who was a dictator and wanted to control the fate of everyone in the Xing family. The other was Xianxia. He was unmoved by force or persuasion. He did things according to his mood. No one could suppress him. At the same time, no one could please him. All right then. In the future, unless it's an important occasion, you don't have to come over for a meal. Otherwise, it'll be unpleasant. Mama Xing decided. Qiqi, you don't have to take your grandfather's words to heart. You just have to remember that you have eighth brother to protect you. You don't have to worry about anything else. I know, Mom. In fact, Mu Qiqi's bravery was all an act. She knew what kind of person Xianxia was, and she did not want to be a burden to him. It was not that she was not afraid of Grandpa Xing's oppression, but she had to be resilient. He could not be threatened by anyone. Even if she had to fight in the end, she would not be alone because she had Xiaoxiao's protection. After a hasty dinner, Xianxia left with Mu Qiqi. Meanwhile, Grandpa Xing and Xing Minghui were on the top floor of the mansion, watching their sports car drive away. Seventh brother, help Grandpa think of a way to make the relationship between the two of them less intimate. As long as eighth brother hates this girl, I can directly kick her out. Grandpa, you should know that I won't be able to bear the consequences if I touch Xingxiao's people. Xing Minghui was afraid of Xingxiao. Here. What are you afraid of? Grandpa Xing turned around and asked her. Do whatever you can to make eighth brother hate this girl as soon as possible. Make them break up. I feel sick every time I see a forensic doctor. I'm already so old, but I'm still disgusted by such things. How can I not follow your orders, Grandpa? Xing Minghui smiled. In the end, Mu Qiqi was at the age where she loved to play. She did not believe that she could reject the vanity of a man who kept chasing after her. She had to think of a way to deal with Mu Qiqi from all aspects. As long as she could find evidence that Mu Qiqi was having an affair with someone else, Xingxiao would know how to deal with a traitor without telling anyone. And school was the easiest place for Mu Qiqi to break her plan. On the other hand, Mu Qiqi was already imagining a drama of a rich family on her way home. Whether she was willing or not, she could not run away from Grandpa Xing's attitude today. Grandpa hinted that we still have a few years before we can register. Is it clear that he won't let me join the Xing family? Do you think that Grandpa Xing is only cunning in these aspects? Xingxiao sneered as he drove. He will definitely give me a woman and give you a man at the same time. He has always regarded relationships as child's play, and he has never believed that true love exists in the world. However, all long-term couples are because of the balance of power. Give me another man. Mu Qiqi was shocked. I can't handle you alone, okay? Little one, do you want to die? Mu Qiqi rolled her eyes in the face of Xingxiao's threat. I finally understand where your demonic genes come from. You must have the magical genes to fight against Grandpa since you were young. But Mu Qiqi did not show any fear. This surprised Xingxiao. Aren't you afraid at all? As long as I'm sure that you won't leave me and I won't leave you, then I'm not afraid of anything. I'm only 18 years old. I can try anything. Who asked me to trust you so much? In the night sky, Xingxiao saw Mu Qiqi's twinkling eyes. His heart was stirred. Because her eyes were as dazzling as the stars. Everyone seemed to be looking forward to a stable marriage. But even the most stable relationship could fall apart in the end. That was why every marriage was a gamble. Did Grandpa Xing think that external forces could destroy their combined souls? Did he think that she was young and fickle? But the truth was that it was easier for an 18-year-old to sacrifice herself for love. On the other hand, Xing Minglan was much more spirited now that Grandpa Xing had temporarily stopped looking at her. Jing Yun relaxed his furrowed brow when he saw that. His gloomy mood was swept away. But that did not mean that Xing Minglan had let her guard down. She was carefully considering Jing Yun's suggestion. He had to prepare for a rainy day and quickly find a way out for himself. But perhaps because Grandpa Xing felt that he owed Xing Minglan after what happened last time or something else, he had put Xing Minglan's marriage as the first priority. Recently he was in contact with an English tycoon. He believed that English men would make good husbands because they were polite. More importantly, the man was interested in finding an Asian woman as his wife. And he was very satisfied after seeing Xing Minglan's photo. Chapter 267. Mama Xing looked at Xing Minglan's face and knew that she did not want to be controlled. And because she saw Xing Minglan trying so hard to control herself, Mama Xing felt that it was a wise choice to let Xingxiao and Mu Qiqi get engaged. She used to obey Grandpa Xing. But when she saw how much her son liked Mu Qiqi, her heart wavered. That was why she helped her son. If Xingxiao's marriage was arranged like this, she thought that Xingxiao would probably die with Grandpa Xing. To prevent Xing Minglan from crying, Mama Xing brought Xing Minglan away after the meeting and went straight to Xingxiao's house in Jingting. Mu Qiqi knew that something had happened when she saw her mother bringing fourth sister to Jingting even though it was already late. She quickly welcomed them. Qiqi, fourth sister will stay here tonight. Comfort her. I'll cover for her when I get home. Don't worry, Mom. Mu Qiqi held Xing Minglan's hand and realized that it was cold. Did Grandpa force you again? Qiqi. Xing Minglan suddenly hugged Mu Qiqi. She finally could not control her emotions. I don't understand why Grandpa thinks that his interference is charity to us. No one wants his charity. He is too domineering. Do you know that he is going to introduce me to some Englishmen? I can't take it anymore. Mu Chichi did not know how to comfort her. So she took out some wine and got drunk with her even though she was not a good drinker. However, since Xing Minglan wanted to get drunk too, the two women ended up getting drunk in the living room, leaning against each other as if drunk as mud. Xing Xiao frowned when he got home and carried Mu Chichi back to the bedroom. Then he put Xing Minglan on the sofa and called Jing Yun. Fourth sister is in Jing Ting. Come and take care of her. Young master, men and women should be different. You should let Aunt Wu take care of fourth sister. Jing Yun was still trying to control himself. What nonsense are you talking about? I don't believe you don't know that Grandpa Xing is interfering with her marriage again. And this time it's even an Englishman. Aunt Wu can take care of her body, but can she take care of her mood? I'm upstairs and won't go downstairs tonight. Do as you see fit. Fourth sister is lying on the sofa downstairs. No one cares even if she's cold. Jing Yun was sure that Xing Xiao did it on purpose. But could he leave Xing Minglan alone? Of course not. If he was at the Xing family, he would have asked for help. But if he was at Jing Ting, could he be a little presumptuous? Jing Yun did not think much about it and went to Jing Ting. When he reached the living room, he saw Xing Minglan lying on the sofa in her thin clothes. So he quickly went to the guest room, took out a blanket and covered Xing Minglan with it. Perhaps sensing that something was wrong with her body, Xing Minglan opened her eyes with much difficulty. She struggled to sit up when she saw Jing Yun right in front of her, his face full of worry. Did I forget myself again? Oh. Jing Yun shook his head. Young master is taking care of Miss Chichi upstairs. Fifth aunt has gone home, so... Still half awake, Xing Minglan sat up and suddenly reached out to caress his cheek. I'd rather marry you than marry some Englishman. Fourth miss. Jing Yun was stunned. Are you unwilling? Do you know what you're saying? Jing Yun's eyes were full of restraint. Xing Minglan smiled and suddenly threw herself into Jing Yun's arms. Sometimes I just want to marry someone and be done with it. But I just can't accept it. I don't want to be manipulated. Jing Yun hugged Xing Minglan, but did not have any improper thoughts. He carried her into the bedroom and stayed by her bedside. Upstairs, Xing Xiao came downstairs. When he opened the door and saw the scene, he really wanted to smack Jing Yun with a stick. He wanted to see what kind of paste was in his brain, and he wasted such a good chance. Of course, he was not talking about having sex with her. Instead, he was saying that it was a good chance for Jing Yun to tell Xing Minglan what was on his mind. Even so, he knew very well that Jing Yun would not say anything if he was sure that he could not give Xing Minglan anything. In the end, Xing Xiao closed the door and returned to the bedroom upstairs. He was going to teach the little one a lesson. She did not know how to drink and still got herself drunk. Mu Chichi was completely unaware that the man on top of her was angry. She only knew that in her days, the man's actions were not gentle at all. Instead, it was punishing. But after that, Mu Chichi felt very comfortable all over. After all, the man cleaned her up and even massaged her. What an irresistible little one. He did not expect her to wake up tonight. So he would have to wait until tomorrow morning. But when Xing Minglan woke up in the middle of the night, she was stunned to see Jing Yun sleeping soundly on the bed. But her rationality had returned. Jing Yun must have been scared to death, right? Of course, she could not remember what she said last night. Moreover, since she was awake, she should go home. She could not keep acting like a drunkard here. But when she got off the bed quietly and was about to leave, Jing Yun woke up. Miss Minglan, you sleep. I'm going back. Xing Minglan turned to Jing Yun. I'll send you. You drank. Jing Yun got up. You can go in alone when you reach the Xing family. Then I won't say goodbye to Xing Xiao and the others. Xing Minglan said. Then they left Jing Ting quietly. In fact, Xing Xiao knew that. He sighed. It was such a good opportunity for Jing Yun to let Xing Minglan go home. It seemed that the blockhead could not be enlightened. Not only did he know, he even went downstairs to stop them. Aren't you going to think of a solution here? Are you going to keep crying when you go home? Xing Minglan saw Xing Xiao coming downstairs in his black pajamas and returned. I don't believe you don't want to get rid of the old man's control. But we are different. What's the difference? Do you think the old man would let Cheer marry into his family? Xing Xiao lifted his chin. He knew everything very well. Think of a solution if you have one. No one has to lower their head and admit defeat to the old man. What's your plan, Xianxia? Tell me first. Do you have someone you like in your heart? Is that important? Xing Minglan frowned. We are talking about your marriage in the first place. Do you think it's important? Yes or no, it's two different directions to work towards. The difficulty is different too. Xianxia replied. Jingyun looked at Xing Minglan. Xing Minglan looked at Xianxia. And Xianxia looked at them. Chapter 268. Xing Minglan looked deeply into Xianxiao's eyes and then at her brother. In the end she simply said, no. How could you not? Xianxia said meaningfully. Then he patted the seat beside him. How can we talk if you don't sit down? Xianxia, now is not the time for jokes. You just have to agree to Grandpa Xing's engagement. Xianxia told her directly. You want me to agree? When he relaxes, what you need to do is to bring your company to the table. I know you've been preparing for it. When it's time for the engagement ceremony, you can break the engagement on the spot. Then you can negotiate with Elder Xing and tell him that he won't interfere with your development for the next 3 years. Otherwise we'll all see the consequences. You can be so shameless. Why can't you? Xianxia asked in return. Fourth sister, you are a bold person. And the only person who can fight for your freedom is you. Just tell me if you need anything else. As your brother, how can I not help you? Xing Minglan took a deep breath and said nothing. Since you are going to resist, why don't you make a big fuss? The gentle fourth sister suddenly made such a big fuss. Do you think that Grandpa Xing, a calculative person, would not know the consequences of forcing you? Moreover, you are determined to be a strong woman. This is to ease the impact of breaking the engagement on Grandpa Xing. Xing Minglan clenched her fists. Then she loosened them. You said that you will cooperate with me. Of course I said that. Even if it is for my Jingyun, I will help you to the best of my ability. In that instant Xing Minglan was confused. What does this have to do with Jingyun? Nothing. Because you are the one who brought him here. Xing Minglan glared at him. But she still believed Xianxia. Not only because she wanted to take the gamble but because she knew very well what Xianxia was capable of. Then we have a deal on this matter. Go and take care of Muqiqi. I will go back first. Xing Minglan nodded slightly. Jingyun, send Miss Minglan off. Xianxia shouted. Understood. Jingyun nodded calmly. He had heard the conversation between the siblings just now, and he had mixed feelings about it. It turned out that Xing Minglan had no one she liked. This answer was both comforting and cruel to him. Xianxia smiled as he watched Xing Minglan leave. Challenging the old man's authority was his favorite thing to do. The old man was getting on in years and should have stepped down from his position of power a long time ago. Since he chose to torment his children and grandchildren, then he couldn't blame his children and grandchildren for giving him a taste of his own medicine. Suddenly, she was looking forward to seeing fourth sister standing on the stage and breaking off the engagement. A woman with courage should be the prettiest. He just didn't know if Jingyun would fall head over heels for his fourth sister. When he returned to the room, he saw the little one sleeping soundly. He carried her into his arms. It was only a matter of time before he left the Xing family. Not only his fourth sister but sooner or later he would also have to walk this path. Jingyun was driving back to Xing Mansion. Xing Minglan looked out of the window and suddenly asked him, "Am I being unfilial?" Miss Minglan, I think there are many kinds of filial piety. If you keep accepting your elders' arrangements and don't think for yourself, then you are just an accessory to your elders. You are not an independent and complete person. Jingyun answered her. To put it bluntly, the old chairman only treats his children and grandchildren as chess pieces on the chessboard. He might be sincere because people who play chess will put their energy into it. But do you think he has any feelings? Xing Minglan fell into deep thought after hearing that. Moreover, if there is anything you need me to do, Miss Minglan, just let me know. Jingyun had been by Xing Zhao's side for many years. It was not an exaggeration to say that Jingyun could be a person who could handle everything on his own even if he was alone. Are you doing this to repay a debt of gratitude? Actually, you don't have to. No. Jingyun answered Xing Minglan. I want to be like young master. I want to protect the people I think are important to me. Xing Minglan was stunned. Of course she was touched. She felt that out of all the siblings in the Xing family, only when she was with Xianxia could she feel the vitality of life. and Jingyun was quite influenced by Xianxia. Soon the two returned to the Xing family's residence. But it was already dawn. Xing Minghui might have heard the noise. She went out in her pajamas. When she saw Xing Minglan coming back with the smell of alcohol, she could not help but smile. "Did you go out to get drunk? It has nothing to do with you." Xing Minglan pushed her away. "Move away. Fourth sister, Grandpa has ordered me to find a way to separate Xing Xiao and Muqiqi. Do you think I will succeed?" Hearing that, Xing Minglan pinned her against the wall. "Does hurting your own brother make you happy? Xing Xiao has never treated me as his sister." Xing Minglan said excitedly. "Do you know how excited I was when Grandpa told me? I couldn't even sleep well last night." "You will not succeed," Xing Minglan said seriously. "Not only that, you will kneel in front of Xing Xiao and beg him to let you go. Fourth sister, you'd better take care of yourself. Aren't you also like a clay bodhisattva crossing the river?" Xing Minglan let go of Xing Minglan and returned to her room. Because she was angry. Grandpa Xing had agreed to Xing Xiao and Muqiqi's engagement. But behind his back he asked someone to separate them. Was this not despicable? Of course she should have gotten used to it. But she still had a glimmer of hope for Grandpa Xing after all these years. But now she could not hold it in anymore. Since eighth brother had already thought it through, then let's do it. I can't let her suffer here alone. If she was suffering, everyone would suffer together. On the other hand, Muqiqi woke up early. Seeing that Xing Xiao had not left, she quickly sat beside him. Xing Xiao took the bowl of soup from fifth aunt and put it in front of Muqiqi. "Drink it." Muqiqi was very obedient. She drank the soup in one gulp. "How is fourth sister's matter?" "Fourth sister has her own way. But little one, it's your 19th birthday soon. How do you want to spend it this year?" Xing Xiao changed the topic. Last year she made a scene at Muqiqi's house. But in just a year she had become the bride of the Xing family. "I just want to spend the whole day with you." Chapter 269. Okay. Muqiqi nodded. She was very satisfied with the result. Then she packed her things and went to school. But when she arrived, she saw a huge banner hanging at the school gate. There was only one sentence written on it. "Muqiqi, I want to woo you." Muqiqi glanced at him and quickly went to the classroom. Because she remembered what Xiaoxiao said on the way back from Xing Mansion that night. Old Xing could not wait to shove men and women around her and Xiaoxiao. It was not easy to do things around Xiaoxiao, but she could be manipulated by anyone. Especially in a place like school. Muqiqi did not know who put up the banner. She just kept to herself. But when she entered the classroom, she found a sumptuous breakfast and exquisite gifts on her table. Meanwhile, the crowd began to talk among themselves. "Isn't Muqiqi engaged to the crown prince? How could she go around fooling around? She's really bold. Isn't she afraid that the crown prince would find out?" Muqiqi threw everything into the trash can and continued her lessons calmly. How could she let old Sheng's plan succeed? There would be fruit juice on the table after class. Lunch would be prepared beforehand. Then the banner would be hung on the tree again after school. What kind of place was a school? Soon rumors would spread. However, Muqiqi did not respond. When school was over, Xing Xiao was still the one who arrived at school. He smiled when he saw the banner in the school. Muqiqi walked out of the classroom. Xing Xiao took her bag naturally. They got into the car and left together. The crown prince must have seen the banner at the school gate, right? He doesn't care? In my opinion, this is all crown prince's doing. Their fiancé's relationship is so good, why should he worry so much about others? I've asked Jingyun to contact the school and get the surveillance footage. We will know who it is soon. Xing Xiao told Muqiqi on the way home. "Hey, let me handle it when we find him." Muqiqi replied. "Is it okay?" "Of course. How else would I be your little one?" Muqiqi smiled confidently. "I want to go back and see my aunt tonight. I wonder how she and the child are doing. If you want to see her, you can bring her to Jingting to stay for a few days. Fifth aunt is also good at preventing miscarriage. She can help her recuperate. I'll ask my uncle for his opinion." This was the first time they had returned to the small villa after their engagement. Because of her advanced age, Su Zipei could only rest in bed. She didn't have a good appetite, so she was in low spirits. But when she saw Muqiqi and Xing Xiao, her eyes brightened. "Chi-Chi, Aunt, it's all my fault. It's been so many days and I haven't come to see you. Aren't you here now? Susie Pei grabbed her hand and looked at her carefully. You are engaged now. You must love young Master Sheng from now on. I know. What about the Sheng family? Is he easy to get along with? Everything's fine. Mu Qiqi replied. She didn't want to tell Susie Pei that she was in trouble now because it would make Susie Pei worry. You have to remember, don't belittle yourself. You are also a dignified young lady, not from a small family. Now you have the Shen family and uncle. We are all your reliable arms. Don't be bullied casually. Don't be silent. With Xiao around, the Sheng family can only stare at you. Mu Qiqi looked at Xiao. She trusted him. Of course, I'm more assured with young Master Sheng around. You must hold each other's hands tightly. Don't let go. Don't be like your mother and father who regret for the rest of their lives. Your main task now is to take care of yourself and the baby. As for me, I'm going to be 19 soon. And I can carry a lot of things. Now Mu Qiqi was no longer afraid of him. The family had dinner happily. Lu Wenhua sent them to the door. Qiqi, I've just been promoted to the principal of Eton. So, I'm planning to reveal your identity and your aunt's identity. This way you will have a political and business background. No one will dare to touch you easily. Uncle, you fought for it. How can I just sit back and enjoy the fruits of your labor? Moreover, I'm Xiaoxiao's fiancé now. If there comes a day when I have to rely on my identity to win, I'll come and beg you again. Principal Lu, you don't have to worry about Qi. Xiao knew that the elder meant well. But he could protect his woman. Even if the Sheng family was a dangerous place, he could still let Qi do whatever she wanted. I don't ask for much. I just hope that Xiao Qi can live with dignity in the Sheng family. I do. Mu Qiqi told Lu Wenhua firmly. Xiao gave it to me. That's good. It was already 10 o'clock when the couple returned to Jingting after visiting Susie Pei. But Jing Yun still sent the surveillance footage. Xiao gave it to Mu Qiqi. You said it. You can deal with it. You won't even look at it. Xiao was very confident about that. Let's not talk about whether you have the guts to do it. Who dares to go against me in terms of looks, means, wealth and fitness? Narcissist. Mu Qiqi couldn't help but roll her eyes. But you don't have to compare yourself with them. These people are just small fries in my heart. Xiao hugged Mu Qiqi by her waist. After dinner, it's a good time to warm up. Aren't you afraid that you'll get *X when you're so diligent? Are you afraid that you won't have sex for the rest of your life? Now that they were officially engaged, he could have as much sex as he wanted. But Mu Qiqi's body would suffer. After Mu Qiqi fell asleep, Xiao still called Jing Yun. Have you found out who's behind those despicable things in the school? They have something to do with Miss Qi. Jing Yun answered. It was already midnight. She was still sitting in front of the computer. That was the fate of a single dog. After hearing her answer, Xiao hugged Xiao Qi and laughed. It seems that Miss Qi can't wait to have a taste of the African people. Young master, do you really want to? When have I ever gone back on my words? Since she wants to provoke us, then let's do as she wishes. Help me prepare for the African people. If she does anything, I'll give her a big gift. Anyway, it's just mutual disgust. I understand. Jing Yun nodded. Chapter 270. After making the last call, Jing Yun was about to go to bed when he heard someone knocking on the door. Jing Yun got up and opened the door. He was stunned when he saw Xing Minglan. Miss Minglan, why are you still awake? I'm preparing for the company. I saw that your room is still lit, so I came to ask you. Is it not convenient for me to come in? No. Jing Yun shook his head. I'm just worried that Miss Minglan might see you and make a fuss about it. You have been in the Sheng family for so many years. Everyone knows what kind of person you are. Don't be afraid. Xing Minglan entered Jing Yun's room and saw the various gifts he had given her on his desk. They were all from abroad. Are they all here? Other than Miss Minglan, no one else gave me gifts. So they are all here. Jing Yun replied. If you mind, these are your things. Why should I mind? Xing Minglan smiled and sat down in Jing Yun's room. You must have a lot of experience in doing business with Xiao. Come quickly, I have a few questions and I want your advice. Being alone with Xing Minglan in the same space, there was nothing else he could do except for the night in Jingting. Jing Yun was very nervous because he was really afraid that Miss Minglan would be gossiped about. Then can you finish your questions quickly? Can you go back and rest early? Xing Minglan could not help but smile when she heard Jing Yun's question. Why do you care about my reputation more than me? Come quickly. Jing Yun walked to Xing Minglan's side. Although he was very nervous, he still took the documents from Xing Minglan. And when it came to professional issues, Jing Yun was a completely different person. Because he could only be confident when it came to the business world. And when it came to management, funds and systems, he was radiant and looked very heroic. Xianxia was a natural manipulator. He liked to take risks and gamble. He was also good at devising strategies. And Jing Yun was the meticulous and precise like an electronic instrument. Xing Minglan felt something deep in her heart after she heard that. Although women could hold up half the sky now, they were still lacking when it came to intelligence. Because Jing Yun could think and consider all aspects. Rationality was the key to a man's success in his career. When they were done, Xing Minglan couldn't help smiling. You're no longer the little boy in rags on a snowy night. Miss Four, the questions have been answered. You should return to your room and rest. Xing Minglan nodded when she saw how serious he was. You should rest early too. As if relieved of a heavy burden, Jing Yun took a deep breath. Still, before Xing Minglan left his room, she turned to him and asked, with your ability, you could have gone out and made a name for yourself a long time ago. Why would you stay as Xing Zhao's assistant? If young master needs me, I will follow him for a lifetime. This way I can protect you forever. Of course, Xing Minglan didn't know what Jing Yun was thinking. She took the documents and went back to her room. But when she closed the door, her heart suddenly raced. In fact, she had already discussed these issues with the company's risk appraiser. She did not know why, but she could only go to Jing Yun's place in the Big Xing family so that she would not feel nervous. But Jing Yun was a shy child, so she had to be careful. Grandpa Xing told her to get in touch with the Englishman, and she did it. If there were no mistakes, it would not be long before the announcement of the engagement was made. Since Grandpa Xing was pressuring her, she couldn't be blamed for making a bigger fuss than Xing Xiao. And in Jing Yun's heart, he only hoped that Miss Minglan's dream would come true. The next morning, Mu Qiqi arrived at school as usual. She smiled when she saw the banner hanging in the school. This ice beauty was famous in school. Because for Xing Xiao, she didn't need any friends. She only needed Xianxia. If she made friends, she would have a new social life. So she couldn't go home on time. She felt that it was a burden. Soon she entered the classroom and threw the breakfast on her table into the dustbin again. Yesterday she didn't know who the person was. But today it was different. The person was a second-year student in the finance faculty. His name was Xianxia. He was a rich playboy. His character seemed to be imitating Xing Xiao. If it wasn't because of that, Xing Minghui might not be interested in this chess piece. In other words, it was a kind of admiration for Xing Xiao. Mu Qiqi asked a senior from the finance department about Xianxia's class today, so she went to the lecture hall early to get a seat. Soon she saw Xianxia entering the classroom. He was wearing a sporty outfit and headphones, thinking that he was very cool. Then the teacher came to the class. But before the class started, Mu Qiqi walked to the front and said to the finance teacher, "Can I have a few minutes of your time? I want to say something." The audience cheered. Because everyone knew that it was Mu Qiqi, a first-year student in the forensic science faculty. Although the teacher was a little confused, he still gave up his seat to Mu Qiqi. He wanted to know what Mu Qiqi wanted to do. Then Mu Qiqi walked to the podium. She glanced at all the seniors, especially at Xianxia's seat. "Seniors, I'm sorry. I have to take up a few minutes of your time, because I have a private matter that I want to solve." "Go ahead." The audience wanted to watch a good show. But this time Mu Qiqi only called out one name. Senior Xianxia. As Mu Qiqi called out, everyone's eyes were focused on him, including Mu Qiqi herself. "Your behavior has seriously disturbed my normal life. Your banners are everywhere and it's not environmentally friendly. Also, the breakfast you bought is not nutritious at all. Please don't put it on my table in the future. Otherwise, I'll have to waste time cleaning it up." After hearing Mu Qiqi's words, the whole class cheered. "Wow, I have a family. I don't want to play such ambiguous games with you. Please control yourself and don't cause me trouble. And I have to say, you should know who my man is, right? How could you do such a stupid thing under such circumstances? What are you thinking? It's fine if you have a problem with your thinking. But don't treat others like idiots. As long as they are not blind, they will know what to do. Don't try to ruin my relationship. I will fight you to the death. That's all I want to say. Please continue. Kira, I'm sorry. Then Muchichi bowed deeply to the teacher. Her movement was fast and handsome. Before anyone could react, she had already disappeared at the door of the classroom. Damn, that's so cool. Xianxia, I didn't expect you to be the one who caused such a commotion in the past 2 days. What are you thinking? Why did you compete with the crown prince? Chapter 271. Muchichi was full of thorns. To her, she was not interested in anything other than studying in Xianxia. Such a girl to others is cold and cool, but many girls like her because very few girls can be as cool and unrestrained as her. Before meeting Xianxia, Muchichi was weak and easily bullied. But after being with Xianxia, Muchichi's personality became more and more obvious. Xianxia did not expect Muchichi to counterattack so quickly. He had prepared a lot of good scenes but did not get to perform in time. But it did not matter. He liked the exciting Muchichi. Soon, the news that Muchichi went to the finance department to warn Xianxia spread all over the campus. The girls were talking about it. Muchichi was just a freshman. How could she be so cool? It was totally against the rules. I'm used to seeing those naive girls flirting with different people in the name of not wanting to hurt others. But now, I'm shocked to see Muchichi so determined to defend her feelings. She's not stupid. She already has a crown prince. Who would want a weak girl in school? I quite like Muchichi's character. I was shocked when she chose to study forensic medicine. According to her grades, she is more than qualified to study in the best department in Xingting. Isn't that right? How many people can be like her? She's so clear about what she likes and hates. Because of this incident, the school's impression of Muchichi changed. Moreover, she chose an unpopular major with high grades. Muchichi's cold image was deeply rooted in everyone's heart. She was just a little girl. She came home in a hurry every day. But when they saw her grades were all A+, how could they not admire her? Moreover, she was good at science, which girls hated. I think it's time to change the ranking of the campus bells in Xingting. Please replace those vases. It's not like we don't have beautiful and smart students. Of course, Muchichi could not hear the discussions behind her back. Even if she did, she would not care. In Huangyao, Xianxia watched the video that the finance students had recorded and uploaded to the internet. The smile on his lips widened infinitely. Sure enough, he did not dote on the little one for nothing. Her posture was just like a president taking an oath. He could feel that the little one was very afraid of the outside world destroying their relationship. So he was not worried about any third party at all. Because the little one's heart was filled with him. Seeing that he was in a good mood, Jingyun took the documents and told him, "The people you want have been arranged. They can be sent to the Xing family anytime." Then what are we waiting for? Such a good gift, of course I have to send it to Seventh Sister as soon as possible. I'm afraid it won't be easy to explain to the old chairman. I'll say it first. The one who provoked me first is AB*T. If the old man wants to cause trouble for me, then I know to continue to cause trouble for seventh brother. Xianxia said coldly. I won't let anyone who makes Qi unhappy have it easy. Because no one has thought of giving in to me. If Xing Minghui isn't afraid of trouble, why should I be? I understand now. Although Xing Minghui knew that Xianxia was a lawless person, he would not dare to do anything to her under Grandpa Xing's watch. But with Xing Zhao's character of doing what he said, she was too confident in her own judgment. That night, Xing Minghui returned to her room after dinner with her family. She took off her clothes and was about to take a shower when she found a dark-skinned man lying in her bathroom. She was startled and screamed. Then she quickly put on her pajamas and went to Grandpa Xing's study, crying. When Grandpa Xing knew about it, his face changed. He was very angry. Papa Xing dialed Xing Zhao's cell phone right away. What the hell did you do? Come home now. Xing Zhao had been waiting for the call. He smiled. I'm on my way. Xing Minghui burst into tears. She was a girl after all. How could she not cry when she encountered such a thing? That was also why old Master Xing was so angry. On the other hand, Mama Xing and Xing Minglan stood at a corner and looked at each other. Xing Zhao would not do anything if Xing Minghui did not cross the line. He did not have the time. But since he did, It meant that Xing Minghui had done something even worse. Why are you in such a hurry to go back to the Xing family? Muqiqi asked, puzzled. Of course I'm going back to watch the show. Xing Xiao said and quickened his pace. Soon they reached the main gate of Xing Mansion. The Xings were sitting in the living room. Xing Xiao led Muqiqi into the living room. Xing Minghui cried even louder when she saw them. Grandpa, you have to stand up for me. Grandpa Xing stomped his walking stick and pointed at Xing Xiao. You are too much. Your seventh sister is a girl. How could you let a black man bully her? You are a bastard. At that, Xing Xiao pushed Muqiqi to sit beside Mama Xing. Then he looked at Xing Minghui and said, I've told you before. If seventh sister had behaved herself, this wouldn't have happened. You are so unfilial. She's your sister. How could she get married in the future? Grandpa, Xing Minghui cried even harder. I never thought that you would do such a thing to your own sister. You are worse than an animal. I admit that I am not human, Xing Xiao answered. Xing Xiao answered Grandpa Xing. At the same time he took out his phone from his pocket and threw it in front of Grandpa Xing. Then I'll ask seventh sister today. What are you trying to do by bribing the students and ruining Qiqi's reputation? Are you trying to make everyone think that she is fooling around and shaming the Xing family? Are you trying to kick her out of the family? Well, Grandpa, can you tell me what you are trying to do? I admit that I have gone overboard by giving gifts to seventh sister. But what about her? Is it what a sister should do to do such dirty things behind my back? Grandpa Xing, you are not such a double-standard person, are you? Grandpa Xing's face flushed when he saw that. Even so, it is your sister's fault. You should just talk to her nicely. Why did you do that? Did she discuss it with me when she hurt Qi and me? Moreover, I have told you before. Is there anyone in the Xing family who doesn't know that I, Xing Xiao, am a man of my words? I was just scaring you today. If there is a next time, it won't be as easy as tonight, seventh sister. Xing Xiao warned her coldly. As a member of the Xing family, you should have the self-awareness of a Xing. You still want to talk to Grandpa Xing. Chapter 272. Xing Minghui certainly couldn't defend herself now that she was caught in the act. Moreover, Xing Xiao had promised her that he was just fulfilling his promise. So even if Xing Minghui cried and screamed, no one would sympathize with her. In fact, she had angered Mama Xing. Xing Minghui, I've always treated you well. But why do you have to go against Muqiqi and Xing Xiao again and again? I really didn't expect you to be so vicious that you would let someone ruin Muqiqi's reputation in school. What good would that do to you? At first I wanted to apologize to you for what my son did. But now that the truth is out, I really can't help but say that you deserve it. Father, don't blame me for being vicious. As an elder, I've always taken good care of Xing Minghui. But I didn't expect that she would do this to my son and daughter-in-law. Even if your father was here today, you wouldn't be able to reason with him. All right, aren't the two of them about the same thing? Turning the Xing family upside down over such a small matter. In fact, what Grandpa Xing wanted to say was that the whole family had turned into such a mess because of an outsider like Muqiqi. But he wasn't in the position to speak up for either Xing Xiao or Xing Minghui. In the end, he flung his sleeves and simply ignored it. Don't come to me with such things in the future. Just let it go. Xing Xiao looked at Xing Minghui fearlessly. If Xing Minghui wanted to keep fighting, he would fight her to the end. You'll regret it one day when you treat your siblings like this because of an outsider. Helpless, Xing Minghui could only return to her room angrily, while Xing Xiao had to accept the rest of the Xing family's nagging. Bastard. She's still my sister. How could she ruin someone's reputation like this? Papa Xing cursed. In fact, everyone knew that if Xing Xiao really wanted to ruin Xing Minghui's reputation, he wouldn't have brought her to the Xing family or let her lie in her bathtub. It was just to intimidate her and remind her to be self-conscious. Everyone knew that Xing Minghui wouldn't be harmed in the Xing family's territory. It's fine, Xing Xiao. You didn't do anything wrong. Mama Xing and her husband were opposing each other. He waved at Muqiqi. Let's go home to the... Moreover, before he left, he winked at Xing Minglan, reminding her that she had to prepare what she needed in advance. Although they had a big fight with Xing Minghui tonight, everyone knew that the one who really wanted to deal with Muqiqi was Grandpa Xing. On the way home, Muqiqi stared at Xing Xiao and said nothing for a long time, which forced Xing Xiao to ask, "You've been peeking for so long. What do you want to say? We've only been engaged for a few days and you're already fighting with the Xing family. You're in charge of the school's affairs and I'm in charge of the Xing family's affairs. No matter how many times you cause trouble, someone has to restrain himself. Someone might be afraid, but I'm not afraid of trouble. But the Xing family would lose even the slightest bit of kinship for me. Xianxia snorted and parked the car in his garage. Do you think the Xing family had that before you showed up? Xiao, it's getting late. Let's go home and sleep. Xianxia got out of the car and entered Jingting. Wuxia followed behind him. Suddenly she stepped forward and hugged him tightly. Don't be angry. It's good that you know I'm angry. Xianxia smiled slowly. You have to understand that if words work in the Xing family, I won't target my own family. I won't give in to the people who hurt you. So when it's time to fight, I'll protect you as long as I live. I know. Wuxia answered obediently. Only Xianxia could make her submit to him willingly. Because this man did it for her and she had no right to question him. Even though she was afraid that Xianxia would lose his family because of her. Hearing Wuxia's answer, Xianxia turned around and hooked his arm around Wuxia's head. Then he lowered his head and kissed her. You heartless little thing. How am I heartless? Wuxia reached out her hand and aroused the man's lust. Then it got out of hand. Xianxia pressed her against the door and kissed her from the door to the living room. They fell on the sofa. Then Wuxia turned around and said seductively, Don't move. Xianxia did not move. He just looked at Wuxia. Wuxia found the man's sensitive spot and kissed him. Xianxiao's eyes changed color immediately. Little thing, you're asking for death. Shoo. Wuxia stopped him and smiled at him. Tonight. I want to be the one on top. You. Xianxia was disdainful. This little one was used to being served by him. Now she wanted to be the one taking the initiative. Let's go back to our room. On the other hand, Xing Minghui was shivering in her room. She was afraid that another black man would appear in the room at any time. If that happened, her reputation would be ruined. She really did not expect Xianxia to be so decisive. He would treat his sister like that just for Wuxia. He was crazy. He was really crazy. Xing Minghui was very unwilling. But what could she do when even Grandpa could not do anything to Xianxia? Thinking of this, Xing Minghui turned on all the lights in the room and locked the door. Xianxia, she would never forget this grudge. Just like that, Xing Minghui could not sleep for the whole night. He felt so wronged. She went to Grandpa Xing early in the morning to make a scene. Grandpa, if you don't control him, just wait and see. Xianxia will become more and more arrogant to his family because of Wuxia. Isn't he just relying on the fact that he is the crown prince and you dote on him? As long as Grandpa gives him a lesson, I don't believe he will still be so arrogant. Of course, Grandpa Xing wanted to teach his grandson a lesson so that he would be more obedient. But Xing Minghui's words were too kind. That's because you don't know how much business eighth brother can get for Huang Yao in a day. No matter how difficult the contract is, as long as eighth brother is involved, there's nothing he can't do. In this matter, Grandpa Xing still protected his grandson. After all, as the young lady of the Xing family, Xing Minghui had never made any contribution. Grandpa, I really can't take this lying down. Chapter 273. There was nothing Xing Minghui could do no matter how angry she was. Who asked her to be a girl? It was an indisputable fact that Grandpa Xing favored Xianxia more. And since Grandpa Xing told her to wait for a chance, she would wait. Your fourth sister is going to get engaged soon. You should calm down. Does that mean that fourth sister is with that Englishman? Xing Minghui's attention was indeed diverted. Your fourth sister has agreed. Why? Are you still not satisfied? Grandpa Xing asked dangerously. Xing Minghui quickly waved him off. Grandpa, you're wrong about that. Of course I wish fourth sister the best she can find her own happiness. She was not wishing Xing Minghui well. She was clearly just watching the drama unfold. As a woman herself, how could she not know how upset Xing Minglan was? Who would want to be a pawn and marry off to the head of some conglomerate? That better be the case. Grandpa Xing snorted coldly. He had a detailed discussion with Xing Minglan in the morning. Since Xing Minglan had always been obedient and had never rejected him, Xing Minglan decided to let him make the decision for this engagement. Minglan, Grandpa wants to see you happy the most. The world out there is too messed up. Look at who Xiao is messing with. Xing Minglan did not react, but she was sneering inwardly. A marriage alliance is a marriage alliance. Why bother with such pompous words to disgust people? I'll let you decide, Grandpa. Minglan, you're the one who gives me peace of mind. Unknowingly, she had started to feign civility with Grandpa Xing. She clearly remembered that Grandpa Xing doted on them when they were young, but everything changed after she became an adult. Grandpa Xing was no longer the loving grandfather she used to be, and she was no longer naive and innocent. Xing Minglan did not refuse anything. She did not even show any displeasure. Grandpa Xing thought that she had accepted her fate. But only Xing Minglan and Xiao knew what kind of show was waiting for him next. More importantly, Jing Yun was investigating the Englishman's background. He found out that he already had a daughter and was divorced once. Jing Yun showed the document to Xing Minglan. Xing Minglan had nothing to say but feel even more disgusted. Do you think Grandpa doesn't know about this? He knows. Miss Minglan, I'm fine. Xing Minglan took a deep breath and looked out the window. How much hope do you think I have for Grandpa? You still have young master to help you. This winter is really cold. Xing Minglan got up and walked to the French window. She looked at the withered leaves outside and felt sad. Jing Yun, you should go back. I know what I should do. I won't be soft-hearted. Jing Yun nodded and returned to his room. Although he was indebted to the Xing family, he hated Grandpa Xing's way of doing things. He just didn't have the right to be calculative. Now that Xing Minglan was in such a predicament, he would certainly do his best. If that Englishman had not been married twice, he might not have been so determined to use all his savings to help Xing Minglan. What kind of grandfather would sell out his granddaughter like that? The next day Xiao got the news from Jing Yun. After reading the information he snorted. That's more like the old man. Young master, will fourth Mrs. Plan be foolproof? No plan is foolproof. But we will try our best to minimize the risk. Jing Yun nodded. He took out a gold card from his pocket and put it in front of Xiao. I don't know how to help Miss Minglan. This is all the savings I have in the Xing family over the years. I hope it can help Miss Minglan. But if I give it to her, she will definitely not accept it. So, Xiao looked at the gold card on the table with interest. You want me to help you? Young master, I didn't ask you for anything. I just hope that Miss Minglan will not marry that man who has been married twice. Otherwise, everything will be meaningless. Xiao crossed his legs and clasped his hands together. He looked at Jing Yun with interest. It's not difficult for me to help you. Just tell me if you like fourth sister. I will help you without hesitation. Young master, why do you have to force me? Then give it to me yourself. Yes. Jing Yun answered simply. I've liked Miss Minglan since a long time ago. But I know it's just wishful thinking. You're still not being honest in front of me. Xiao put away the gold card and looked at Jing Yun. I will do it for you. Thank you, young master. But you have already taken out all your savings. Do you have any plans for the future? I can still earn more. Xiao looked at the gold card in his hand. He knew that there was a lot of money in it. Because Jing Yun had been working for him all these years, his salary was already very good. Moreover, with Jing Yun's own investment, the money in the card could be 8 or 9 figures. If he did such a thing without letting fourth sister know, would someone as foolish as Jing Yun still have to smile and marry someone else in the future? But Xiao knew very well that it would not be easy for a blockhead like Jing Yun to take the initiative. At night, when Mu Qiqi returned home, she saw a gold card in front of Xiao. She immediately said, I have enough money to spend, you overconfident little thing. Jing Yun wants to give this to fourth sister. Xiao told Mu Qiqi. So, Jing Yun really likes fourth sister, right? Mu Qiqi climbed up Xiao's legs and wrapped her arms around his neck. But from the looks of it now, Jing Yun would not add to fourth sister's burden even if he dies. So he won't say anything. What a stubborn fool. Ask fourth sister for a drink with this card and ask her to accept it. Xiao buried his head in Mu Qiqi's chest. Consider it as fulfilling that fool's wish. Then shouldn't we tell fourth sister at all? What if she really likes someone else in the future? That's his own fault, Yizichen said. Mu Qiqi thought long and hard but couldn't decide if she should help. Xing Minglan didn't appear to be able to accept a relationship between a younger brother and a sister. Even if they were only 2 or 3 years apart, she only treated him as a younger brother. But what if fourth sister was like Jing Yun and kept it a secret? Still, she was afraid that if she exposed the matter, they would not be able to be friends anymore. Why was Jing Yun so infatuated? I'm really defeated by Jing Yun's cautiousness. I still want to help him test fourth sister. Mu Qiqi said to Xing Xiao, unconvinced. Xiao, help me think of something. You called me the wrong person. Xing Xiao reminded her. Chapter 274. Xing Xiao stroked Mu Qiqi's head and looked like he was enjoying it. There's no other way. Just drink with fourth sister a few more times, and she will naturally open her heart to you. Mu Qiqi knew that she had been tricked. She quickly pushed Xing Xiao away and got off his lap. Boring. Seeing that, Xing Xiao quickly pulled her down and pinned her on his lap to give her a spanking. Little one, your temper is getting worse. You're the one who taught me. Talking about me is the same as talking about yourself. Xing Xiao was speechless. She was asking for it. Soon, Grandpa Xing called the Xing family for dinner. The reason was simple. He was going to announce Xing Minglan's engagement to a British tycoon who owned a high-end fashion empire. Of course, when they got engaged, the two supercorporations would also sign a strategic partnership agreement. It was literally selling his granddaughter. In Grandpa Xing's eyes, it was double happiness. Mu Qiqi was there too. She looked at Xing Minglan worriedly when she heard Grandpa Xing's announcement. Fourth sister, on the other hand, did not react at all. She appeared especially calm. It will be on the 8th of next month, before Huang Yao's event. Minglan, you must be prepared. Xing Minglan put down her cutlery and nodded at Grandpa Xing's instructions. I know, Grandpa. Congratulations, fourth sister. You've got such a good marriage. Seventh sister raised her wine glass and congratulated Xing Minglan. Now that fourth sister is married, it's your turn. Seventh sister, I congratulate you too. They clinked glasses, but neither of them was sincerely congratulating Xing Minglan. On the other hand, seventh sister did not bother Mu Qiqi that night. She was restraining herself and quietly waiting for the opportunity that Grandpa Xing had mentioned. Of course, she did not expect that the opportunity would come so soon. Everyone in the Xing family had different thoughts during dinner, and it was tasteless. After dinner, Mu Qiqi stopped Xing Minglan and winked at her. Fourth sister, let's go to Jingting for a drink tonight. Eighth brother is willing to let me take away your good night. Of course. It's not like I'm holding him up. She would not stop exercising just because she was drunk. Xing Minglan nodded and left the house with Mu Qiqi and Xing Xiao. Old Xing saw that and asked Mama Xing, fourth sister seems to be quite close to Mu Qiqi. Isn't she? It's already so late, yet you're still following me out. Fourth sister is a gentle child. Because of her gentleness, she keeps all her troubles to herself. She and Mu Qiqi are kindred spirits. Do you mind if they talk to each other occasionally? Mama Xing knew Grandpa Xing's weakness very well. Everyone in the family knew that the Englishman had remarried. Xing Minglan agreed on the surface, but it did not mean that she felt good inside. Grandpa Xing was speechless. But at the same time, he found a way to teach Mu Qiqi a lesson. Since that's the case, let them be. But when they returned to the study, Grandpa Xing went to look for Papa Xing. He sat on the chair and asked him, Huang Yao's VVIP night this year hasn't been decided yet, right? Dad, what do you think? Currently, the planning department has yet to submit a proposal. As you know, every year the VVIP night would cause dissatisfaction among the super members. The planning department is also at their wits' end when it comes to dealing with those rich wives. So, I think it's safer to do it the usual way. Let Mu Qiqi handle this year's event. What? Papa Xing was stunned. Dad, Mu Qiqi is just a student. She doesn't know anything. How can she take on such a heavy responsibility? But she is also Xing Zhao's fiancée. Xing Xiao is the crown prince of Huang Yao and his future wife. How can she know nothing about the family business? She is a member of the Xin family. Let her test the waters. If she can't do it, it's not too late for you to do it the usual way. For a moment, Papa Xing thought that Grandpa Xing must be out of his mind to let Mu Qiqi handle such a thing. Mu Qiqi, she was just a student of forensic science. What did she know? Did she know diamonds? Did she know how to run a business? Did she know how to run a business? Just do as I say. I want to see if Mu Qiqi has the talent in this field and whether she can help Xiao a little. Dad, are you really going to admit Mu Qiqi's identity? It's true that she is a member of the Shen family. But her background always makes me feel uncomfortable. Especially when she grew up in the Mu family. Don't you feel scared when Xiao pampers her? There must be a reason why I asked you to arrange it. Just do it. The old man didn't explain too much. Papa Sheng took a deep breath. In the end he could only nod and do as he was told. I understand. Even so, Papa Sheng still felt that it was a fantasy. Why did Grandpa Sheng make such an arrangement? He had two reasons. First, it was to break Mu Qiqi's confidence. He wanted her to know that she could not stay by Xing Zhao's side for a long time. Second, if Mu Qiqi succeeded, he would give the credit to Xing Minghui. It would lay the foundation for Xing Minghui to work in Huangyao. In short, whether it was a success or a failure, it was a trap that Grandpa Sheng had dug for Mu Qiqi. Meanwhile, Mu Qiqi and the others had just returned to Jingting. After Xiao made room for the two ladies, he went to the study so that they could have a heart-to-heart talk. Holding the goblet, Mu Qiqi put the gold card on the table and pushed it to Xing Minglan. This is a little gift from me and Xiao. Consider it a stake in your company. Xing Minglan's eyes darkened. But she did not take it. I don't need money. The stronger you are, the greater your chance of winning. Even if you don't use it, you can keep it by your side to protect yourself. That way Xiao and I can rest assured. Xiao Qi, fourth sister, I don't have many friends. I'm used to being bullied since I was young. People around me always laugh at me. Then I met Xianxia. But you must have heard about what happened to her. We can't meet often because I don't want to hurt her eyes with my happiness. And now you are the only one I can talk to. If you refuse, I will think that you don't really treat me as a family. Xing Minglan thought about it. Then she nodded. I'll let Xing Xiao buy the shares. Let the lawyer distribute the shares. I don't care how you use it. Mu Qiqi smiled when she saw that Xing Minglan had accepted the money. They clinked glasses. Actually, you can go out and make friends. Does Xing Xiao want to restrict your freedom? Chapter 275. You see him as your whole life. Isn't Xing Xiao your first love? Yeah, fourth sister. Tell me about your first love too. Mu Qiqi went with the flow and asked Xing Minglan. I already know about my relationship with that scumbag. It doesn't count. But I only have that relationship. Xing Minglan suddenly chuckled. You're lying. Mu Qiqi lied. Which girl doesn't have a Prince Charming when they're young? Xing Minglan hugged the bottle of red wine and thought for a long time. Finally, she remembered the night she first met Jing Yun. Do you know how I felt when I first met Jing Yun? He suddenly mentioned Jing Yun. Mu Qiqi perked up at once. I've never seen such a beautiful boy. Even Xing Xiao can't compare to him. Xing Xiao only became handsome after he grew up, but Jing Yun has always been beautiful. I think I brought him home because he's handsome. Xing Minglan chuckled. As for the rest, she had a vague impression of the man. Memories are always so beautiful. That's why you remember it so clearly, fourth sister. Xing Minglan smiled sweetly as if she had returned to that time. Mu Qiqi knew that fourth sister might have had feelings for Jing Yun all along, although she herself didn't know what kind of feelings it was. Soon the two women were drunk. Xing Xiao went to the living room after his shower. He shook his head and was convinced. Little one, you really know how to find alcohol. You're drinking like a cow that costs millions. Then he carried Mu Qiqi back to the bedroom and called Jing Yun. Fourth sister is drunk in Jingting. Come and take care of her. Young master, I still have a drunk little one in my hand. Do you understand? Jing Yun had no choice but to leave the Xing family's house. When he reached Jingting, he carried Xing Minglan to the bed in the guest room. That was when Xing Minglan vaguely opened her eyes. When she saw the beautiful boy in front of her, she couldn't help reaching out and caressing Jing Yun's face. You're still as handsome as before. Jing Yun did a double take. He didn't know what she was talking about, so he simply tucked her in and stayed by her side. Upstairs, Xing Xiao was bathing the drunkard. Although he was the one who asked this little thing to be a spy, seeing this little thing vomit made his heart ache. I won't let you drink anymore. Mu Qiqi grunted and fell into Xing Xiao's arms. She soon fell into a deep sleep because of the alcohol. Xing Xiao did nothing and quietly returned to the living room to clean up the mess. Xing Minglan woke up when the sun was rising. She couldn't help but feel touched when she saw that Jing Yun was still by her side. Slowly, Jing Yun opened his eyes to find Xing Minglan sitting on the edge of the bed without saying a word. Lowering his head, he helped her put on her shoes. Miss Minglan, do you feel uncomfortable? Actually, I don't need you to guard me. Jingting should be very safe. You have to go home when you wake up. Try not to drive after drinking. Jing Yun found a perfect excuse. If there's a next time, you can sleep in another room. You feel uncomfortable lying here. Okay. Jing Yun agreed. He saw the gold card in Xing Minglan's pocket, so she accepted it. Thinking of this, he felt a little relieved. He quietly left Jingting with Xing Minglan. But he didn't expect that Aunt Wu would come to Jingting so early to make breakfast. Aunt Wu was confused when she saw them coming out of the guest room. She must have misunderstood. Assistant Jing, is she your girlfriend? Jing Yun was about to explain when Xianxia came downstairs in his formal attire. Aunt Wu, please prepare 2 more sets of cutlery. Yes, Mr. Sheng. Xianxia did it on purpose. He didn't give Jing Yun a chance to explain. Xing Minglan couldn't help but stare at him. Why do you always ask Jing Yun to come and take care of me? I don't feel at ease letting others enter Jingting. Besides, isn't Jing Yun upright enough? Xianxia shrugged and brushed Xing Minglan off. Let's go back after breakfast. Aunt Wu has prepared everything anyway. Xing Minglan blushed. She sat down at the dining table. Xianxia and Jing Yun followed suit. Your servant must have misunderstood. Our relationship, just let it be. Aunt Wu is already so old. Why do you need to explain? Xianxia looked at Xing Minglan and said. Moreover, Aunt Wu is not a meddlesome person. She doesn't like to talk too much. Xing Minglan stopped talking. She didn't know why, but she suddenly didn't dare to look at Jing Yun's expression. Just like that, the atmosphere became awkward. Obviously, they could get along very naturally in the past. Because of the intimacy they had in the past 2 nights, she suddenly felt that she should keep a distance from Jing Yun. Xianxia glanced at them. At the same time, Jing Yun received a call from Papa Sheng. It was because Grandpa Sheng wanted Mu Qiqi to be in charge of the VVIP night in Huangyao. So he gave the order the next morning. Jing Yun frowned after he heard it. There were so many Shengs in the family. There was also a planning department. It was impossible for Mu Qiqi to be in charge of this. But Grandpa Sheng wanted Mu Qiqi to be in charge? Young master, there's trouble. Xianxia glanced at Jing Yun. There was a sharp light in his eyes. Then he learned the content of Papa Sheng's call from Jing Yun. What is Grandpa trying to do? Xing Minglan was puzzled. This is a hot potato. Handing it to Xiaoqi? What is he trying to do? Nominally, he wants to test Qi-er's ability. But in fact, he wants to tell Qi-er to back off. If she doesn't do it well, how would Qi-er have any face in the Xing family? Don't you think 7th sister would use this against her? Xianxia snorted coldly. Then what should we do? Grandpa has already arranged it. Then do it. Xianxia said calmly. But Xiaoqi doesn't have any experience. 4th sister, you don't know Qi. Do you think a person who dabbles in physics and chemistry doesn't have the ability and talent? Xianxia asked in return. So what if she doesn't have experience? I'll just teach her. If you teach her and succeed, Grandpa will give the credit to you because you are the crown prince of Huangyao. Xiaoqi won't be recognized. But they had oversimplified the whole thing. Because Grandpa Sheng wanted to give all the credit to Xing Minghui. Of course, the premise was that Mu Qiqi could really hold an outstanding VVIP night. Chapter 276. The few of them were in full swing, but the person involved in this matter was still kept in the dark, completely ignorant. I know how to take care of my own people. You just need to focus on your engagement. You don't have to worry about anything else. Xianxia told Xing Minglan not to be distracted. Since Grandpa Sheng wanted to make things difficult for Qi-er, he would wait and see. In fact, he also wanted to know what new things the little one could come up with. He never interfered with the planning department's affairs. Therefore, other than attending Huang Yao's events, he rarely asked about them. As for the VVIP night, there had been countless teams, but the smell of gunpowder seemed to have become a tradition of the VVIP night. Every year on this day there would be some extremely unpleasant cases. No wonder Papa Xing only wanted to do it normally to reduce the risk. Since you are so confident, I can only look forward to it. I'm afraid the little one will explode if she knows. The three of them could not help but laugh. Xing Minglan was really envious of the relationship between Xianxia and Muqiqi. Although they were 8 years apart and were uncle and niece, they never had to bear the shackles. If they loved each other, they would treat each other as their own lives. After breakfast, Xing Minglan and Jing Yun left. Only then did Muqiqi get up lazily. Xianxia had been laughing ever since she came down the stairs. He did not stop even when she sat down. Muqiqi sat on his lap, puzzled. What are you up to? It's not me. It's someone else. With that, he chuckled again and Muqiqi became even more curious. I'll tell you after you finish eating. Of course, the news spread all over the Xing family the next day. They all thought that Grandpa Xing was crazy. How could he give such a difficult task to a girl who did not know anything? Wouldn't Huang Yao become a joke in the eyes of others? Xing Minghui went straight to the garden to look for Grandpa Xing. Grandpa, didn't you say that Muqiqi can never enter the Xing family? Why are you? I'm doing this to pave the way for you. Grandpa Xing answered her while sipping his coffee. If Muqiqi does well in the event, you will get the credit. So don't interfere in this. How could she do it well? Don't forget she has 8th brother. In the past, 8th brother never cared about the planning. This time I'm sure he won't either. Grandpa Xing pushed his glasses up and said to 7th brother, as long as the event is successful, you can use this credit to enter Huang Yao. Xing Minghui's face turned into a flattering one. Grandpa, I knew it. You are the best to me. So, don't bother Muqiqi this time. Xing Minghui was about to reply when she saw Jing Yun and Xing Minglan returning from outside. She was immediately suspicious. Grandpa, why is 4th sister always with Xing Zhao's assistant? 4th sister's engagement is just around the corner. It would be bad if there were any bad rumors. 4th sister was at Jingting last night, so of course 8th brother sent Jing Yun to pick her up. Why are your thoughts so complicated? Grandpa Xing snorted. I'm just thinking about 4th sister's reputation. I won't worry even if you have half of Jing Yun's ability, let alone 8th brother. Although Grandpa Xing did not say it out loud, he still went to Jing Yun and asked him about it. I saw you and Minglan coming back together this morning. What happened? Young master called me to pick 4th sister up. She was drunk and couldn't drive. As expected, Grandpa Xing was satisfied with Jing Yun's explanation. If that's the case, you can go. But Minglan's engagement is just around the corner. You must keep a distance from her since there is a gap in status. I know, Chairman. Jing Yun nodded. Because of the gap in status, Jing Yun would try his best to control himself. He only hoped that Xing Minglan could be happy. He was willing to do anything else. On the other hand, Muqiqi's head was about to explode when she learned that she had been entrusted with such an important task. So your grandpa wants me, a student who is learning how to dissect a human body, to participate in Huang Yao's event? Muqiqi pointed at her nose to confirm with Xianxia. Is his brain damaged? His brain is not damaged. He is very smart. Xianxia smiled. Then why didn't you stop him? Xianxia comforted his little one while kissing her hair. Now that the whole Xing family knows about it, how could he take it back? And as my fiancé, it is perfectly reasonable for you to participate in Huang Yao's event. Moreover, the holidays are coming soon. Have time. Just treat it as a social practice. I am a forensic doctor. I cut up corpses. I don't need social practice like planning an event. Just try it. Xianxia insisted. Why do I smell a conspiracy? Muqiqi felt something was wrong. But since you think I can do it, I will try it. But first, don't blame it on me if I mess it up. Grandpa Xing is waiting for you to blame it on him. Muqiqi turned and wanted to glare at him. But Xianxia quickly added, but I won't give him the chance. That's more like it. Show me the information. After I finish my homework, I will try to plan it. Grandpa Xing just wants to see me embarrass myself. It's not a big deal. So in the end, Muqiqi gladly accepted the dilemma. After all, she really wanted to prove to Grandpa Xing and the Xing family that she had the ability to match Xiaoxiao. But what she did not know was that Grandpa Xing was paving the way for his granddaughter. He only wanted to humiliate or use her and had no intention of acknowledging her at all. To put it bluntly, she was making a wedding dress for someone else. By the way, I have something to tell you. I think Jing Yun has a place in fourth sister's heart. Meanwhile, in the office of Xing Minglan's new company, the lawyer came up with his answer a few hours after Xing Minglan had asked him to investigate the source of the funds on the gold card. Miss Xing, the owner of the gold card is not the crown prince. What do you mean? The owner of the card is called Zhao Lin. But I couldn't find any information about her. That is why I am worried that the source of the funds is not clean. The lawyer told Xing Minglan. You should ask the crown prince. Xing Minglan nodded and called Xianxia. Xianxia, who is Zhao Lin? What? You asked Mu Qiqi to transfer the gold card to me. The owner is called Zhao Lin. Don't you want to tell me who the money is? Xing Minglan noticed the problem. Chapter 277. What the hell is going on? Xing Minglan was shocked when she saw the amount. If it wasn't Xianxia, who else could come up with such a huge sum of money? Of course, it was just a small amount for Huang Yao. But for her, such a sum of money was like a hot potato in her hand. The reason why the money is not under my name is to prevent Grandpa Xing from finding out. So he used someone else's account. Or do you want others to know that we are in an alliance? But you are not familiar with this Zhao Lin just now. Fourth sister, you know what kind of person your brother is. He only remembers the important people. Of course, he needs to react to these unimportant people. Xianxia answered smoothly. If you think that I am not thinking clearly, I will change my gold card. No need. My lawyer is just trying to figure out the source of the money. It is their job. Since Xianxia had explained, Xing Minglan had no reason to doubt him. She said to the lawyer, the money is not a problem. Miss Xing. Since it was Xianxia who gave it to her, Xing Minglan had no reason to doubt him. She had already called him. She should be relieved. But she did not know why, but she felt that something was not right. On the other hand, when Xianxia answered the call, Jing Yun was beside him. When he saw Xianxia put down his phone, he quickly thanked his young master. Thank you, young master. You used your money and it became my shares. What do you have to thank me for? Xianxia mocked him. Jing Yun did not say anything. His purpose was simple. He wanted to increase Xing Minglan's leverage against Grandpa Xing. Silly. Xianxia seemed to remember someone saying that those who looked cold were actually fanatical for one person. That saying had been proven true by Jing Yun. Soon night fell. Mu Qiqi returned home from school and had dinner with Xianxia. Then she went to Xingxiao's study. Xianxia looked away from the computer and looked at her. Don't you need to prepare for the final exam? Everything is ready. Mu Qiqi put down the documents in her hand. She propped her head on her hand and looked at the man beside her. He was wearing a dark blue turtleneck sweater. He looked so handsome. You didn't look when I took off my clothes, but now you want more. Xianxia sneered and turned off the computer. He hugged her and asked, tell me, what do you want? Why is it that every year during Huang Yao's VVIP night, something unpleasant always happens? I want to know the root of the problem. That way I can find a cure for it. Xianxia never bothered to read the reports from the planning department. To him, there was no need for the planning department to exist. The proposals they submitted were always for insurance. There was no innovation to speak of. We have to start from a pair of high-class customers of Huang Yao. The daughters-in-law of the Lu family are sworn enemies. Although they are Huang Yao's most loyal customers, they are also a big trouble. Every year on the VVIP night, the two of them would compete with each other. I still don't quite understand. Mu Qiqi sat on Xianxia and listened carefully to his story. Every year, Huang Yao invites the top 50 VIPs to attend the VVIP banquet, and this pair of rich wives have been fighting for the first place for years. Are they fighting because of each other's husbands? No. The eldest Mrs. Lu was the wife of the second son of the Lu family. But the second son cheated on her and slept with another woman. After they divorced, the second son married his current wife, and the eldest Mrs. Lu married the second son's eldest brother. So that's how it works. Mu Qiqi was amazed. So, it was understandable that the two women would fight each other every day. However, the VVIP night of Huang Yao was a founding tradition. Could not be cancelled just because of the two women. But the two of them always moved the battlefield to the VVIP night. That was why the planning department was so nervous. They burned incense every day, hoping that the night would be peaceful. It's basically a dead end. The people of Huang Yao have racked their brains but could not find a solution. The planning department is always in a mess on this day every year. But this year they will probably set off firecrackers because Grandpa Xing has found a new target. It's not their fault. Grandpa is just too evil. Mu Qiqi could not help but pout. How could he put such a difficult task on me? What else do you think? Xianxia pinched the tip of Mu Qiqi's nose. Then, are the two brothers of the Lu family not getting along? Not really. The Lu family just watched them fight over the years and did not do anything. Xianxia explained and laughed when he saw Mu Qiqi fall silent. So, are you confident enough to solve it? Such a deep grudge. It's not easy. Mu Qiqi rested her chin on her hand and pretended to think. Little one, you still have time to think. Mu Qiqi nodded. She had a feeling that many big things were about to happen. Then is there no activity in Huangyao this Christmas? It's a regular activity. So I can spend Christmas with you this year. With that, Xianxia turned Mu Qiqi's head and kissed her on the lips. It was soft, sticky and very tasty. Of course, Mu Qiqi was not in a hurry at all. There were so many people in the planning department who could not come up with a solution. She could not solve it immediately. He was not a god. Still, when Xingzhao's kiss deepened, she suddenly put a finger over his lips. I want the information on the two young masters of the Lu family. You can see it when you come home from school tomorrow. Mu Qiqi was satisfied. Only then did she throw away the information in her hand and return Xingzhao's kiss. In 2 days it would be her birthday. She remembered how she had to fight for Mu Tongshua's love and warmth last year. Now a year had passed and she still did not receive any love from the Mu family. But now she had a fiancé by her side. Mu Qiqi could only hope that time could slow down when she remembered how hard it was to get this moment of happiness. Just a little slower. Soon the study became a playground for the two of them. Winter in Jianchuan was not especially cold, but there were bone-chilling winds. Late at night, Jing Yun saw the Englishman sending Xing Minglan home from the balcony of his room. He automatically moved away, only to find Xing Minglan appearing at his door moments later. Can we have a chat inside? Jing Yun did a double take and nodded. But not next time. You are the fourth daughter of the Xing family and I am just a little assistant. Jing Yun, you know that I have never looked down on you. I know. But fourth miss, gossip is a fearful thing. Chapter 278. You misunderstood me, seventh sister. Jing Yun explained calmly. I wouldn't have misunderstood you if you didn't say that. After all, you have been with the Xing family for so many years and fourth sister was the one who brought you here. I think it's normal for you two to be close. Now that you put it that way, I don't understand. What did I misunderstand? Xing Minghui shrugged as she asked the two of them and entered Jing Yun's room. When she saw the gifts on Jing Yun's desk, she knew who gave them to him. She couldn't help smiling. Jing Yun, you really care about fourth sister, don't you? Fourth sister is my savior. It's good that you don't have any improper thoughts. You should know that fourth sister is not someone an orphan like you can reach. That's enough. Xing Minglan scolded Xing Minghui. You should know whose assistant this person is standing in front of you. I know. You should look at the owner before beating a dog. Xing Minghui laughed and walked out of the room. Then I won't disturb you anymore. Xing Minglan was very angry, but Jing Yun stopped her. There's no need to fight with her because of me. But in my heart you and Xing Xiao are the same. That's enough. Jing Yun let go of Xing Minglan's hand. Go back and rest, fourth sister. Jing Yun's place is not a place you should stay for long. You're getting engaged soon. Xing Minglan nodded helplessly. Then rest early. Tell Xing Xiao if you have any grievances. I know. Xing Minglan turned and walked out of Jing Yun's room, and Jing Yun quickly closed the door. He was afraid that he could not hold back his feelings, and with Xing Minghui's humiliation he could not stay in the Xing family any longer. Not only that, Xing Minghui was clearly not going to let the matter pass just like that, because she was good at making a mountain out of a molehill. To not put Xing Minglan in a difficult position, Jing Yun quickly called Xing Xiao. Young master. Xing Xiao answered Jing Yun after hearing everything. Go to the old man right away and tell him that you're moving out of the Xing family so that seventh sister won't go there and stir up trouble. If you go to the old man first, seventh sister will become the culprit who forced you out, and the old man won't forgive her. Also, the villa that my mother prepared before, I'll transfer it to you. In the future, deduct it from the shares and consider it as me selling it to you. I understand, young master. Mu Qiqi was beside Xianxia when he answered the call. She could hear how considerate he was about Jing Yun's feelings, and thought that was probably why Jing Yun was willing to follow Xianxia. This man was really meticulous. On the other hand, Jing Yun immediately took action after hanging up. He went to Grandpa Xing's study in the middle of the night and asked for an audience. Jing Yun, it's so late. What's the matter? Chairman, I don't think I can stay with the Xing family anymore. Please allow me to leave. Jing Yun went straight to the point when he saw the old man. Why is that? Although Grandpa Xing had verbally reminded Jing Yun of his identity, it did not mean that he did not approve of Jing Yun. Miss Minghui came to my room tonight and saw Miss Minghui. With that, Grandpa Xing understood what Jing Yun meant. What nonsense is Xing Minghui spouting this time? You're brought here by fourth sister, so it's only natural that you two would be closer. Moreover, you're at home. What nonsense could Xing Minghui spout? Miss Minghui is about to get engaged. I don't want her reputation to be tarnished and I don't want to complicate things. That's why I hope that you can grant my request, Chairman. Jing Yun, you should know that Grandpa Xing has always treated you like his own grandson. If you want to move out, I'll find a place for you. There's no need, Chairman. Young master has already arranged it. Jing Yun replied, but his tone was polite. That was what Xianxia had told her. She must show her disappointment in front of Grandpa Xing. That was the only way to hurt him. All right, if this will make you feel better, then do it. With Grandpa Xing's consent, Xianxia moved out of Xing Mansion overnight without informing anyone, not even Xing Minglan. The next day, Xing Minghui was still spreading rumors in the Xing family, saying that Xing Minglan and Jing Yun were really close, and were meeting each other late at night. When Grandpa Xing heard about it during breakfast, he slammed his hand on the table. Stand up, Xing Minghui. Grandpa? Xing Minghui was bewildered, but she could still feel Grandpa Xing's rage and had to get up from her seat. What nonsense are you spreading about fourth sister and Jing Yun? Grandpa, fourth sister is the young lady of the Xing family and Jing Yun is just an orphan. Aren't they afraid of people gossiping about them meeting in the middle of the night? You're still talking? Grandpa Xing was so angry that he hit Xing Minghui with his walking stick. You forced Jing Yun away last night and you're still not satisfied? Jing Yun was brought back by fourth sister, and he has worked hard for the Xing family for so many years without a single complaint. His contributions to Huang Yao are not something you can imagine. You don't even have a third of his ability and you're still trying to show off? Grandpa, she left last night because she was afraid that you would spread rumors and ruin fourth sister's reputation. Now, I thought that you would stop, but I didn't expect that you would become even worse. You don't have to eat breakfast. Go back to your room, I don't want to see you. Grandpa Xing was really angry, which was why he gave the order. However, it was a different feeling for Xing Minglan. She rose to her feet and before Xing Minghui could leave, slapped her across the face, startling everyone in the Xing family, especially Grandpa Xing. I'm your sister. What have I done to you that you would spread rumors about me? Xing Minghui could not say anything knowing that she was in the wrong. It's fine that you forced Jing Yun away, Xing Minghui. I won't be polite to you as your sister from now on. With that, Xing Minghui left the dining table. Everyone could feel that she was angry and she did have a reason to be angry. Xing Minghui could only go back to her room and smash things on the floor. Why is everyone against me? Why? Don't you have any F***king idea? On the other hand, Xing Minglan went to Jing Yun's room and found that he had taken away his gifts aside from a change of clothes. And just like that he left the Xing family's house without a word. As for the slap just now, it would be more accurate to say that it was for Jing Yun rather than for her. He moved away just like that without even saying goodbye. Chapter 279. Jing Yun never thought about affecting Xing Minglan in any way, because he never thought that he was that important to her. Now that he was outside and had his own home, it was actually quite good. At the very least, he didn't have to worry about anything. Soon Xing Minglan called Xianxia, her voice urgent. Eighth brother, where did Jing Yun go? He's my assistant. Where else could he go? But he won't be staying at the Xing family's house anymore, lest people gossip. Aren't you moving out soon? What? Are you worried about Jing Yun? He was forced away by seventh sister because of me. It's good that you know. Xianxia did not explain. It was his plan because he wanted Xing Minglan to feel guilty. That way it would be a little consolation for that sentimental person. Promise me, eighth brother. Take good care of Jing Yun. He's doing fine. The Xing family might not know Jing Yun's ability, but Xianxia did. After all these years, he had never met anyone in Huangyao who was more suitable than Jing Yun for his father's position. Either way, promise me. All right, I promise you. Xiangxiao's lips curled into a smile despite his reply. Xing Minglan was anxious because she had feelings for Jing Yun, even if it wasn't love right now. Of course, Xianxia did not forget to tell Jing Yun about Xing Minglan's worries, because he knew how precious that little bit of psychological comfort was to Jing Yun. Schedule all my time tomorrow. I'll celebrate Cheer's birthday with her. Got it. Jing Yun nodded. Now that you've moved out and fourth sister is about to move out, haven't you thought about finding a chance to express your feelings to her? Xianxia was very anxious. He could not understand why he couldn't keep the woman he liked by his side. Who would care about him if he just protected her quietly like that when she marries? Jing Yun remained calm. He had resigned himself to his fate, believing that it was his destiny to protect Xing Minglan. Of course, it was absurd for Xianxia. Whether he was the crown prince of the Xing family or an orphan like Jing Yun, he would keep her by his side as long as he was sure of that person. Xianxia did not say much when he saw that Jing Yun was so stubborn. After all, EQ really differed from person to person. Still, Mu Qiqi was as angry as Xing Minglan when she heard about Jing Yun. What had Xing Minglan ever done for the Xing family? In the end, Jing Yun was bullied by her. That was why Xing Minglan's slap was so satisfying. At night, Mu Qiqi was reading the information in the study again. Xianxia had promised her that he would show her the background of the two young masters of the Lu family. Mu Qiqi tossed and turned and suddenly sighed. This young master of the Lu family is actually a little like you. He couldn't bear to see his sister-in-law suffer, so he gave her a new identity and a chance for revenge. Although it's a little strange for two brothers to sleep with one person, he doesn't care about the body. He cares about the soul. So, I think there's still a chance to turn things around. Xianxia hugged Mu Qiqi and asked her interestedly, "What's the basis of your judgment? Or is it just your intuition?" Think about it, Xiaoxia. This eldest madam has no background and would not benefit eldest young master's business. But why did eldest young master not interfere with his wife all these years and let her take revenge on her sister-in-law? It's simple. Without love and waiting, I don't believe any man could do what he did. So, I think we can start with eldest young master. I believe he wants his wife to let go of her grudge and live a new life. Wanna bet? Then how are you going to do it? That's not for you to ask. What you need to do is to make things convenient for me. Mu Qiqi said confidently. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. The Lu family's matter is also related to the VVIP night of Huangyao. If you can really solve it, I'll take care of everything else. You said it. Mu Qiqi pointed at Xiangxiao's nose and promised. Xiangxiao held her hand and nodded. I said it. I mean it. Soon they were kissing. Anyway, no matter where they were or what they were discussing, this man always had a way to turn the place into a place of pleasure. He was really shameless. But Mu Qiqi was already used to it. Anyway, she was satisfied with a man's love. This time they only stopped when it was late at night. After Xianxia took Mu Qiqi for a bath, they lay on the bed. It was snowing outside the window. Mu Qiqi felt a chill and quickly burrowed into Xiangxiao's arms. It was Christmas Eve. Just when Mu Qiqi was half asleep, Xiangxiao suddenly kissed her forehead and whispered, "Happy birthday, little one." Mu Qiqi opened her eyes and revealed her snow-white arms. Where's my present? Mu Qiqi was just joking, but unexpectedly Xiangxiao really put something in her hand. Mu Qiqi took it and sat up. There was a necklace in her palm. The two ends of the necklace were in the shape of wings, delicate and cute. And the pendant was, "This is my heart." Who would make a necklace in the shape of a heart so simply and crudely? Mu Qiqi smiled as she studied the necklace. The pendant was indeed in the shape of a heart, but it was encased in white diamonds. From afar it looked like an irregular stone, and it had a different kind of beauty. Because she was a medical student, she could recognize it at a glance. But most people would rather see it as an irregular white diamond. The world is so big. You can't get any luxurious jewelry you want. But this pendant is a miniature version of my heart. I'm giving it to you for safekeeping. Mu Qiqi felt sweet inside. She held the necklace tightly. I'll protect it. Happy birthday. I'm happy every day with you. Mu Qiqi could not hold back her tears. Xiao, don't leave me. Don't ever leave me, okay? Congratulations. You're 19, little one. With that, Xianxia kissed her again. Even if Mu Qiqi was exhausted, she only wanted to respond to this man, the man she was deeply infatuated with. Soon the two joined together again. So the cleaning before was a waste. Outside the window it was snowing heavily. In the warm house, flirtatious sounds rose and fell. It seemed more intense than usual. You're tuning in to the Zhou Xian's Legacy YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.